going to give you a quick demo of our CTN Network website, ctnnetwork.net. Join our community. It is free. You just type in ctnnetwork.net, and this is the homepage right here. And if you want to create an account, you would just click up here and create new account right here. Sign up with your email, or you can sign up with just clicking on Facebook or Google. So you can sign up with your Facebook account or your Gmail. So I'm already signed up, so I'm going to click in Gmail right here, and it's going to log me in. And as you can see, this is our homepage. Click on creators right here, and this shows you all the CTN family members that are content creators. Everybody is on here. If you want to go to one of their YouTube channels, for example, if you want to go to Crypto Talk Now, just click on channel, and it takes you right over to the YouTube channel for that particular creator. And you click on community. This is our community right here. We do have a forum, and this is a forum where you can post things, you can interact with one another. And there's also a blog right over here that we post our own content on. And if you click on CTN Studios, you can watch our live show and other content creators' live shows right through this CTN Studios. We do have advertisements for some of the content creators. There's the Crypto Smith, there's Waddy, the Crypto Hunter, and we also have live charts for the ISOs right in this box right here. We have a feature where you click on the heart if you want to donate to us. You can donate with Ethereum or Binance, BNB. And also, if you click on this button right here, we're going to have a call-in feature, which is already live. If you want to call us, just click on the green icon, the green phone icon, and click on call now. And during the show, between 9:15 and 10, when we announce it, when Max is on or when I'm on with Max, we will start accepting phone calls, and you guys can be live with the show. If you want to turn your video on, you can come on camera as well. So good stuff there. Now back onto the homepage. If you click on members, you can see all the people that are members here. All these people here, like Chaka just signed up, Gills33, Miguel. All these people here are members of our community. So you guys can sign up, and then you can chat with one another. So you can either click over here, message right here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to welcome him. I'll send him a quick message, and then I can click enter or just a little arrow. If you want to message somebody else, you can click on message, or you can go right over here into members chat and go ahead and message them and create a new chat if you want by clicking this little button right here. Now also, if you scroll down here, you can see some of the past videos that our content creators in our content creator family have created. You can go in here and watch some of the recorded videos. They're scrolling down here. Just choose one to watch. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this brief demo. Make sure you sign up so you can interact and be part of the community when we are not on the live show.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Friday. Glad to have you here. Congratulations. You basically made it through your work week. Time to kick back, relax, and enjoy what's going on with the overall crypto market. Basically want to go ahead and welcome a few of you guys to start things off. And then after that, we will definitely get into the news, right? A lot of headlines, a lot of things that we got tagged. I want to also just kind of draw your attention real quick, give us a plug, as Larry would say, to our particular channel real quick before we actually kick it into the comments. So I want to show you the lineup that we had for this morning, and we had quite a bit of content that we released earlier today. So as you can see here, yeah, Stellar Lumens, does it really have 1 million TPS? Well, check out that particular video. It'll tell you how that gets done. XDC have some big news last night. For a lot of you guys who didn't stay for the extended coverage, it's okay. You want to check out that one. It's in regards to the electronic trade documents bill. Very, very bullish news for XDC, especially if you hold XDC. I know a lot of you guys do. Quant, how about that? The Nestle connection. Who doesn't know about Nestle? Give me some of my fat juice. Give me some of my fattening chocolate milk and strawberry milk, right? Something like that, right? Check that one out as well. How about FedNow goes live in July? My goodness, right? But at the same time, let's not dismiss Ripple's partnerships. Sky Guo versus Brad Garlinghouse of XRP. Begin, got to go with the epic rap battles of history. Anyway, 4 that was released today. I wanted to do more. Got some juicy stuff last night. If you guys are around for that, in regards to Jasmy, have even more juicy stuff I'm going to get into here in a bit in regards to Jasmy and what? Yeah, Pokemon. Pokemon and Jasmy? Is it just speculation, or is there something really solid there? When we get to that segment, you make your mind up, draw your own conclusion. I think it could be huge. All right. So with that said, I'm going to kick it into the comments and welcome a few people. All right. Let's start things off with JC the Man. And I'd like to welcome JC the Man. And if anything, if you're not following JC the Man, guess what? I got it primed and locked and ready to go. You need to do what? You need to go follow JC the Man. And if you don't follow JC the Man and subscribe to him, then you're not the man. So go over there, show this kid some love. He's up to 66 subs. Maybe he can get up to 70 tonight, maybe 80. You never know. Ooh, look at that. He came out with Call of Duty Season 2. Very cool. Call of Duty, please sponsor, it says. Why Apple? This other one from the other day was up to 6,000. My God, 6,000. I'll play that again. And
$1 charge on my credit card.
Dad, I'm a material girl.
Get out of my house! Why is there an $800,000 charge on my credit card?
Dad, I'm a material girl.
Get out of my house!
that is the voice of Mike Cornwell when he gets angry about charges that he can't have for his crypto, right? To spend on that. All right. So, okay, I'll just leave it at that. So, yes, go ahead and give him a sub. It is JC the Man. All right. And then on top of that, let's kick it into some more comments. I am doing good. Thank you very much. Tim Shea says, hey. Hello to JC. KK says, pack your bags with crypto and hold on tight. Yes, got to do so. Man, I am really looking rugged. I gotta do something. Had some time earlier and then got totally distracted by 4 separate people all at the same time, but it's okay. Good problems, no problem. Stump Rising House says, hello all. We will kick it into the news here in a bit. Rayan is in the house. He says, KK, until when, man? We are tired of waiting 2 years, man. All right. Well, I'll tell you something else, Rayan. All right. So, like I mentioned, a lot of people are also tired of waiting until they're 65 years old from age 20 on their 401k, but they believe in that. So, if you can believe in that, like I mentioned before, you can believe in waiting for a couple years. But I still think there's some big gains to be, that's going to happen in 2023 as well. Might not be the generational wealth quite yet, possibly, but it also depends on how much you have invested, right? Not my financial advice. But yeah, in 2 years' time, 2024, 2025 is going to be really, really big for the all-time highs for crypto. All right. But good to see you, Rand. Coochie's boys in the house saying what's up to Tim Shea. Brian Dowie's here. He says, sup, guys? Always good to see you guys here, especially Salamander as well. Good to have you. He says, hello, humanoids. And I forgot, it's St. Patrick's Day. So, well, hello there, Lottie. Welcome to Crypto Talk Now. Yes. Antonio Pavisvac Ortiz. Hopefully I pronounced that wrong. Antonio Pavichivac, maybe. I don't know. But I'd like to welcome Antonio. He says, ahoy all. Glad to have you here. Blackwood says futures. Yes, that's a good point. So it says shorting. Waddy pointed that out. I was talking to him earlier today. Talked to him for a while. He mentioned the whole thing about futures is the way to go. Never messed around with that. So never did shorting, never did futures, but may have to look into futures. All right, Rafael Santos is here. Hello, guys. Sup all. God bless you all. Thank you very much, Rafael. And again, guys, thank you so much for everybody who helped Raphael out. We had the community fund for Rafael Santos. It went on for a week. If you guys donated, really do appreciate it. You're still more than welcome to do so if you want. Reach out to Raphael. Long story short, if you don't know, his house burnt down. It's a bad story. We're wishing him the best. But I was glad to help out. If you guys helped out, God bless you. Thank you for doing that. All right. On top of that, Open Mind has an open mind all the time. Hello, everybody says. Smoochy. I am definitely not your mommy, but hello, welcome. All right. Let's go see if there's any other people here. All right. I'm definitely not that person, but that's okay. Welcome. All right. Mr. Santos says, also, I want to say thank you so much to Sir Andrew, Stump Rider, for the help he has given to me. Thanks so much. Oh, that's awesome. Glad to see more people helped you out. Thank you guys. Really appreciate you for helping out a fellow great person of our community. That's what I'm talking about, man. That is awesome. Glad to see it. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. And, we'll get into this here in a bit. We are going to talk about XDC Salamander. Last night I got really into it. Also going to get into it today. I have some info in regards to that. Okay. All right. Well, you take care. Let's see here. You made new videos. Well, that's cool. All right. Tim Shea says, hey, Salamander, on the way to 10. Stump says, Tim, Brian, Coochie Boy, saying hello to everybody. I also want to welcome Abdul Jawad Kazan. He said, let's go, Jasmy. Yes, thank you for being here, Abdul. And yeah, that's just a brief little intro. The original one was 15 minutes. The other one's 5. And I chopped it down just a little bit after, Larry says basically, and that's it and so on. So we're just, trying to, again, get more exposure to our site. It was an investment. And not only that, is the main thing, guys, is we don't want to be, a case like Larry mentioned before, where it's like, oh, you're just doing this to Max and Larry are cool guys and so on. No, we're actually going to try to get things going where it ends up being a platform that, people want to share with community-driven news for crypto, or, heck, you want to shill some things there, you can do that. But yeah, we're trying to make it so, it's an active utility, right? That's being used for the community. Tim Shea says the Fed is printing money. Max might be right about the start of the bull run. Well, I've been mentioning it for a while, but thank you, Tim. I do appreciate that. Like I've always said before, it's not that all this was created as a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against money printing. But thank you again, Tim. Appreciate it, man. Crypto Homes 777. Hello, everyone. Hello. Is it Crypto Homes you're looking for? Lionel Richie. Yeah, I know. I gotta say it. All right. Read that before. Rivers in the house. Welcome him. Yes. Oh, top of the morning to you. Yes. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Did you get pinched or did you wear green? I imagine you probably wore green, Tim. You're out in one of the New England states, Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Somebody pinch Max. See if we are live. Actually, you can't see it right now. It's not showing up right. This has a little bit of green camo in it. So technically speaking, in person, I can't get pinched. And here's another thing. I was going to wear the green screen shirt to do floating head, but then you guys want to see it because it cancels it out and it's just a floating head. So I'm like, I can't win either way. All right. Suresh says, hi, thoughts on Nervous Network? You know what? I'm going to tell you about Nervous Network. It actually kind of makes me a little nervous. I'm kidding. That's a bad joke. Somebody else mentioned that the other day. I don't have no thoughts on it yet. I haven't researched it yet. Let me know what you like about it, what stands out for it with you. But that's the second time somebody brought it up. Maybe it was you who brought it up before, and that's fun. All right. McDizzle's in the house. Thanks for being here, Crypto Mike. Hello and guten Tag. The Liechtenstein Exchange. And Jasmy in the house. Yes, welcome, Magic Power. All right. Welcome a few more, you guys, and definitely we'll kick it in to the news. Lottie Dottie, we likes to potty. If we get back to $3 trillion, we're going to potty with everybody. Anyway, yes, you'll be happy. Welcome, Mr. or it could be Mrs. Lottie Dottie. I got to introduce you to my crypto friend by the name of Waddy. That's not a joke. He's a real guy. Anyway, XDC will break 5 cents before the announcement. Very good point. You took a leap into futures trading, and I had no idea what you could do with a little research. Very cool. All right, Stardog's in the house. Yes, always good to see Stardog. Thank you for being here, Stardog. Always makes me happy to see Stardog. So good to see you, man. Our friend from across the pond says we pumping. We definitely are. All right. I think I approached the bottom for the most part. Stevie's in the house. Fed printing money again. Yes. And Lottie Dottie, we likes to potty. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead and highlight that bookmark. Let's kick it into the news. And if anything, smash that darn like button. Oh, you know what? I'm tired of content creators telling me to smash the like. So you like the content, do you not? It's free. And if you appreciate the content, you will also like to see us succeed by getting this out to more and more people, for they can be part of our community and realize that we have a smart, tight-knit community here that has done more than enough research and is continuing to do just that. With what's going on with the ISOs, the QFS, a lot of those, of course, part of that, and so on. It's not just about memes. There's opportunity even with that. But the point is, help us get further out there to a broader base. And in order for that to happen, it doesn't cost anything. Smash the like. Thank you very much. All right. New Coolio out. Very cool. I have to check that out. All right. So highlighting that as well. And yeah, we do have some Casper. We do have it on the lineup. It is tagged. Just not right at this minute. I'm going to get into some of our particular headlines that we have. All right. So actually, let's start this off right here. And it is in regards to Quant real quick. So shout out to the great Quant Papa. So a lot of times there is partnerships that basically become forgotten. Now, why is that? Right? Is it out of convenience? No. Is it because we didn't do enough for research at the time? Possibly. But look at this. Jiangsu Huaxin Blockchain Research Institute, Forgotten Partnerships, JBI, Quant China. Now, why would I mention this? Well, 3 specific things, maybe 4. Number 1, what you have with Conflux. Understand how big that is for China in itself. And we saw a lot of price action happen recently with that. Like if you came in, I think at the 8 cent mark, oh man, you are a happy camper. On top of that, understand what Casper ironically brings to the table, right? To China. On top of that, understand what's going on with, for instance, Cypherium, right? Even though that's not just Chinese based or anything like that. But again, the key thing here is what all these bring to the table, and especially when it comes to China. I understand the whole thing with FedNow, but I think there's also something there for Cypherium later on down the road. Now, in regards to this, on the topic of Quant, I'm going to blow this up. And as you can see, this was a while back, but Quant Network, exclusive partner to China's blockchain research hub for China Ministry of Commerce, Quant Network and the JBI signed a MOU for a 5-year cooperation. Now, by the way, Overledger, like I mentioned, is the only platform to facilitate internet scale development and deployment of decentralized multi-chain applications such as maps and treaty contracts, which are multi-chain smart contracts. Quant Network's token sale, that was, of course, way back. But if you're wondering about this exclusive partnership with Jiangsu Huaxin, they are a blockchain research institute, like it mentions, and they're the first state-owned research hub dedicated to exploring blockchain technology for the Chinese Ministry of Commerce. So that's big because we saw a lot of things happen again recently with Conflux. I think if they continue to help build, right, of course, come on with this interoperability and so on, you cannot dismiss with what's going on with, China, right, whether you're a fan of them or not. Now, when I got further into this, I want you guys to see this right here. It says they, right, as in the JBI, recognize that without Overledger, listen to this, the major limitations of current blockchain technology include the lack of interoperability and single ledger dependence, which will hold them back from achieving their ultimate goals. So through Overledger, you don't just have companies here in the United States Europe and so on. We have the whole thing with LAC chain with Latin America, but even China, right? I'll show you guys just a tad bit more about their exclusive partnership with China's blockchain research hub for the China Ministry of Commerce. And by the way, yeah, again, it's a 5-year particular contract, but this part right here, it's a little bit hard for you guys to read, but I do like what it says right here. So it says that they recognize the innovation to move up in the value chain by abandoning the old heavy industry and building up bases of modern formation intensive infrastructure. Why would the Chinese Ministry of Commerce want to get involved with Quant? Probably because they realize that Overledger gets it done at scale like nobody else's business. On top of that, here's some more from the actual official site a while back then. Now, when we jump further into this specifically, you will recognize that, that this particular research institute, again, they've been around for a while. They are probably needing to upgrade or extend this particular 5-year one. This is back in 2018. But if anything, we're going to try to follow this a little bit more. But I wanted to draw you guys' attention to some of these particular things because the main reason for that, if you're wondering, well, why mention it? This happened a while back and so on, is because with everything lined up for Quant, you should see some big things happen for potential upside on Quant. If you were seeing things like Conflux explode with everything what Quant has going on, especially with the Chinese Ministry of Commerce, right, with JBI, something big could be also brewing as well. I've heard some rumors also that there's some things developing, as we also know. June should be big for the digital pound and some other projects that Quant is connected with. But while everybody's focusing on that, I also want people, again, and I'm going to reiterate this, pay attention to what's happening with China and, of course, some of these other projects, not just Conflux, not just Casper. Casper's great too, but also especially for Quant. All right, I want to show you guys one more thing. And this time, of course, it's not in regards to Quant. Actually, it's a little bit more in regards to Quant. So there's this particular interview, and some people say this is speculation and so on. This is him hinting. I don't think it's speculation. I honestly think it is him hinting. He always does these particular interviews with this guy that you see here. I forgot his name, to be honest. I apologize. But yes, Gilbert hinting Overledger on all 5G and 6G systems. Now, why would that be the case? Well, let me show you this much. So to catch you guys up just a little bit on what I'm talking about, I want to, show you this right here. So a while ago, not too long ago, I think I did it basically, a week ago, something like that. There is this particular video right here. So it says, Quant shows me, it says Maximus presents a Vodafone, right? Shout out, of course, to Quant Papa. Now, the reason why you need to understand the Quant connection with Vodafone is because the Vodafone is Europe's largest mobile-based network for the many different European countries, right? That particular region, with what they bring to integrated SIM cards, right? So Vodafone is Overledger's integrated SIM cards. Now that we established, for you guys who might not be caught up with this, why that's significant is because you have this right here, which is this particular interview with Gilbert Veridian, CEO of Quant, where he's basically kind of like hinting, if you will, this whole thing with 5G and 6G and why it's huge. The reason why it's huge because Overledger, again, is not single layer utility, multiple layer utility. I'm going to play this 1 minute and 8 seconds. I think this is absolutely huge for Quant. I understand and respect the whole thing in regards to NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, heck, even Cypherium, right? There's a lot of that going on. But listen to what he says here, and we'll come back in about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Here we go. Smash that like. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. Oh, man, hold on. Wrong tab. Ugh. My bad. Let me get that going here. I got it right here. My bad. Gotta switch to the right tab. There we go. There we go. I'll play it again. My bad.
So give us some hints there, Gil. I know you can't because of NDAs and everything.
Communications, so telcos.
That's a
we're
big
in
deal.
quite a few discussions, and it's really the link between blockchain, IoT, 5G.
Where, you know, Qualcomm or 4G or 5G chips are used in your phone, you don't know what they are. They just allow you to connect to the mobile network. But blockchain will allow us to connect to all of these blockchain networks and to transact securely.
But we're able to actually update global financial systems to digital assets to a modernized version. And so the same way, you know, our phones and our data can roam the world and work in any country, we kind of need our money to do the same.
Your personal or medical health records can be carried in your pocket and accessed as required, the same way we can activate data roaming on our phones when we travel.
Right, these, you know, the next WhatsApp, the next Telegram, the next
That's right.
Facebook, whatever they do. Yeah.
Payment companies interested in it. We've got telecoms companies interested in it. So they're all on the call.
All right. So, I mean, come on, guys. Really. Here's the thing. How many times did he mention specifically some of these particular technologies? And the nice thing, and, you know, again, shout out to Quant Papa. He takes all of this and he chops it up and he puts it into one compilation to bring it to us, to have somebody like myself to bring you guys the news. Extremely bullish on the likes of Quant. I mean, you know, when we talk about, like, man, Quant is, you know, part of our top three. You know, sometimes, you know, people say, well, XRP number one. So yeah, I get that. But my thing is, you know, consistently speaking, it's way up there. Understanding that, you know, 100 plus blockchains make it interoperable. You know, some people feel as though, well, where's the real utility? I mean, you know, the focus should be on payments, should it? Because if we're at Web3 and we're constantly evolving with some of these particular technologies and so on, and you have one that's ahead of the whole pack, it makes everything interoperable, makes it so it's appealing for devs to come in and build on Overledger. All they have to do is own the QNT token that becomes what? The license fee, if you will, for the software. It's genius. It's beautiful. And 3 lines of code. Come on. I'm very, very excited in regards to that. So when I saw the whole thing with what I did with my research for the recorded for Vodafone, and I saw that, I said, you know what? That is really, really big. Understanding how big Verizon was, right? Back in, I don't know, 2006 to 2011, 2012, roughly in that particular time. They had their time to shine. You're going to see quite a few other providers, whether it is Vodafone in Europe and so on, but that Quant connection, if you have an entire continent of people who are on their system for Overledger, and Overledger makes it all interoperable for all these 5G and in the future 6G systems. Wow. You know, if you're excited about owning ETH at dirt cheap prices at, you know, at one point, and saw that unpopular gas fee being triggered over and over and over, and saw that go to all-time highs, this is where people get the expression of, yeah, load up on Quant, because with Quant, you could see $10,000 a coin sooner than some of the other particular ones and so on. And for me personally, I'm not into Quant for 10,000 a coin. I mean, for the long haul of at least 100K. Some people feel as though, not just me, by 2030 could be the first $1 million coin. Some people think I'm crazy for saying some of those things. I don't care. That's the way I look at it. And just because I'm a content creator doesn't mean I can't have freedom of thought. Anyway, going to jump more back into the comments. Stevie says ISO tokens are going to pop next week. Bye. Very true. A lot of times, you know, people have pointed that out and feel as though that this could be our last chance. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some that won't pop off just yet. And if anything, recognize those particular opportunities. All right. I'm going to go further down. Lottie Dottie says XTC Dubai well received. All right. Thank you very much. Coochie Boy says Purdue lays an egg. Ooh, I didn't get caught up on that one, man. I was busy, so I missed out on some of that. I did the YouTube TV free trial. I'm gonna try to catch up on some of it and so on. I got canceled by the 26th, but that's all right. Let's see here. You guys welcome each other. Thank you for that. Abdi Mac is back in the house. He says, shout out Tanju Coin Catchers. Proof of work. Thank you for being back here, Abdi Mac. Hey, just out of curiosity, Abdi Mac, are you actually like personal friends with Rayan, or is that just a coincidence? All right. Tim Shea says, Coochie Boy doesn't surprise me. Larry says, hit the like button for Max. Thank you very much. As you would say, Larry, we have 53 wonderful, beautiful people here right now. All right. Shout out to Max and Larry. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Abdi. Larry, did you ever get Cypherium? I don't know if you got into that or not. All right. Let's see. I, of course, did. Glad I'm way up on that, just like a lot of you guys. I just wish I would have had more. At the time, it was just something new. I was just like, I believe in it, but I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna go all out. But you know, I got a decent amount. It's not like I have like, you know, $5,000 worth or something, but I'm okay with that. If they have another pullback, whenever that happens, I might have to definitely you know, DCA into it again. Or I should say again, just DCA into it. Like, that'd be the first one. That'd be my second bag. All right, JG's in the house. Welcome, JG. Kev Cleveland's in the house. Good to have you here again, Kev Cleveland. Magic Power says, where you all want to live when you cash out the crypto millions? So for me, I don't know if I want to live like at one like paradise or anything like that. I would definitely want to do a lot of traveling and visiting places. I know you're gonna think this, you guys are gonna think this is funny. So my buddy, he's one of my best friends. All right. Actually, probably is like, I don't know, my top 3 best friends or something like that. He graduated, ironically, from U of A. Yeah, I know. U of A lost the other day. But he majored in film production and so on. And so, of course, just like anything, he's got dreams. And we were wanting to, believe it or not, like obviously go on vacation and so on. So to places like in Europe and whatnot. So part of that journey is to do some of the interviews with some of the, I hate to say this, the people who are, this generation's kind of dying out, you know, the World War II generation. And it's kind of like a documentary that we're going to film eventually in the future. But at the same time, I'm looking to go, I know you're going to think this is nuts, on a 1-year vacation all over the world. And I want to document, and, you know, not the whole thing, but a lot of it, the footage and so on. So that's one thing. But as far as where I live, I want to go back to my hometown. I want to buy a home there. And I want to live there for at least 4 months out of the year, you know, when it's nice weather. So basically like May, or I should say not May, maybe June through like October, and the rest of the time, maybe something like here or something. If you're wondering where that is, you know, like Oregon, Arizona. But as far as visiting a lot of other places like Paradise, you know, like Tahiti, places like that, I'll be all over the place. Anyway. All right. River says, I guess you've never been to Alaska then. You know, funny thing is, when I was 18, I had the opportunity to actually work on a fishing boat in Alaska. And it just changed my mind. I'm kind of glad I did that. I don't know if I would have been able to handle it. Don't really do too well in extreme cold. I can handle a little bit of cold, but not like, you know, 40 below zero consistently or something. That's just nuts. Rayan says, Magic Power is very simple. We are going back to Africa. Magic Power says Africa is the best if your bag is full of money. Rayan says, where a place we do not pay tax. So in regards to that, you don't have to pay state income tax in Texas. It's very appealing. I think there's some other places as well. But anyway. And there's, of course, other states that have lower state tax than other states. So, for instance, like Washington State has a lower state income tax compared to Oregon. But then again, with Oregon, you don't have to pay sales tax. So, one of those things. But I do know with Texas, there is no state income tax. I have some friends, at least that's what they told me. Unless they're making something up, I don't think they are. Ray says Dubai is a good choice, but remember, you're gonna spend a lot. Yeah, I imagine. All right, crypto homes. Malta has no tax on long-term crypto gains. Good people. Very good to know. 49 people. Yeah, we had more than that. We had like, I think 53 at one point. All right, that's okay. We might be competing with some other particular shows. All right, we're going to get back in the news in here just a bit. Regulations will take these coins mainstream. Also, if the SEC get off XRP. That's a very good point. Very good point. Because what's going to happen is regulations lead to the clarity that institutions are looking for. They don't want nothing volatile. They want something that is going to keep its value because they ain't messing around, right? And that's where, of course, we should see huge market caps because if anything, if they jump into quants, jump into some of these other ones and so on, that's where it's at. All right. Stevie says Quant is going to be a monster. I'll hold it forever. Good point. And I couldn't blame you for that. I mean, if it did very well go to $1 million coin, if anything, you could get paid interest. Maybe it's not a whole lot, but you get paid interest on it. Who wouldn't want to do something like that? Stephen Berg. That's where the expression, generational wealth also gets mentioned. Stephen Berg would like to welcome you. He says, thank you for all you do for the HBAR and Jasmy community with your content. I really appreciate that, Stephen. Thank you so much for actually even taking the time to come here out of your day, especially on a Friday. You could be doing other things. You chose to come here and even say that. Hey, man, it means a lot. So I want to thank you big time for that. Stephen Berg, I also want to encourage you to, if you're a fan of our content, to go over to ctnnetwork.net. Here's our particular site. It's a brand new site. I should say brand new, maybe a couple weeks, 3 weeks old, something like that, 2 to 3 weeks old. But if you like our content, we also have other creators that we feature. So after you make an account, you click on creators. Like there's 2Bit, Bleeze, Chaka, some other bigger names like, Classy Crypto and so on. The guy that's a host with me, co-host, I should say, on Mondays for Utility Talk Now, Sean the Crypto Smith. Here's his particular channel. And there's also Wadi Crypto Hunter. So what's going to happen is we have, we like to promote the content of all these guys, that we feel as though it's like a win-win for us all. So you just click on there, takes you to his YouTube. And speaking of which, he mentioned like Jasmy, HBAR, and stuff like that. So Sean the Crypto Smith did a video 5 days ago about why he feels Jasmy is taking the game from big data, such as Google, Amazon Web Services, Facebook, and so on, right? For you guys that were talking about Casper earlier, he dropped 1 hour ago a Casper video. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Definitely will later tonight. It says future-proof blockchain. Take a look into that. He always has great content. He obviously covers other, content like, MMI and so on. But, I actually got into Cypherium because of him, because I saw the ISO 222 connection. Obviously, the whole thing with FedNow. But anyway, check them out. Check out our particular site and so on if you choose to do so. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything. You can sign up with your email, Google, Gmail, or even your Facebook. Guys, let's welcome Stephen Berg. Consider changing your avatar to something that speaks more about who you are and what you're about. Again, thank you. All right. I would like to welcome back Jetpack. ISO Jetpack J0229. He states XDC. I think you said and HBAR. Okay. I think that's a typo. Get them before they go to a price you knew you didn't want to pay for, but no, it will go higher. Very good point. I mentioned it a lot of times, and we'll get more into this. When it comes to XDC, remember how many times I mentioned do not sleep on XDC? Now you're starting to see a little hint of it. I think it's been up roughly, 20% on the week. That's not bad. That's actually very good for XDC. And now we're getting a lot of bullish momentum. When we talk about consolidation, how it strengthens the asset, this is what I'm talking about, because we get into a real true bull run, which I feel as though we're at the start of that. There's enough data to support that. That's just not Max being like, oh, he's hopping on the bandwagon. No. If anything, I've hopped on this long before everybody else when it was unpopular to do so. Provide you guys 6 recorded videos in regards to the bull run thesis. And of course, we consistently talk about it. So yes, Jetpack is right, guys. Grab those. It's not financial advice. You got to do what you got to do. Grab those before they blast off. And now, don't get me wrong. after the 20th, which is next week. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. A lot of things should blast off. I've seen some comments, people saying, don't expect anything to happen. That's a good point. But if the banks are utilizing these distributed ledger technologies of these particular cryptos, right, from the ISOs, if the utility is put into place, then yeah, you can expect it to do something. Anything in regards to utility should do well. This is why for many years, or depending on when you came in, right, in the bear market, there was so much talk about utility. Why does content creators, or why do people that write blogs, or whatever the case would be, put so much emphasis on utility compared to, and I'm not trying to flood anybody's bags with meme coins. I have them too. But it's the thing, as the saying goes, you want something that's going to continually activate that utility, right? I'm not a fan of Ethereum, but I do recognize that that utility is constantly being used. And if anything, they have one of the biggest ecosystems out there, right? So many projects built on Ethereum, whether it's ERC20 based tokens, NFTs, you name it. But the utility, the gas fees are being kicked into gear a lot. So understand, when ISO 222 goes live and all the people were complaining for many, many months that you're not seeing much price action. Of course, you're not seeing much price action. Just like my analogy about the fast food chain, the El Pollo Loco that got built for many, many months. And then now you see it's fully built, but you can't go to the drive-thru and order chicken. You can't get sides. You can't buy soda. You can't bring your family to eat in there, to have that utility, that cash registers going ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching with all those people ordering chicken, for the same reasons why these projects won't pump until that utility is initiated. But you better believe, if you were a central bank out there, why would you go through all this problem of getting this mandate completed to use these new technologies and not take advantage of just that, the speed, the security, and so on of these technologies? You better believe, you were sweet aunt, that's going to happen. So you're almost at the finish line. We'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. Now, of course, there's going to be some ones. It could very well be XDC. It could be some other ones where maybe they lag behind a little bit. Take advantage of those times. Maybe take some profits off some of the other ones and load up a little bit more on the ones that haven't. But you better believe that a lot of these will get there as well. It's just that XRP, maybe Quant, XLM, those might stand out first. I do personally believe that XDC will also be there as well, because of the trade sector. All right. Going to jump a little bit further down. I saw that we ticked up to 60. Thank you for doing that. Please smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Ryan says, hey, Abdi, send to Max 500 Quant, please. Yeah, I could use that. Thank you. Anybody's welcome to send me Quant. That's more than grateful for it. And I still will do shows. I won't abandon it or anything like that. I've always loved talking about crypto. Long before I joined up with Crypto Talk Now, I was getting to the point that I just, even just with friends and stuff like that, I would tell them, how I did well in 2021. You guys know the story by now, 10K to 120K. My third top performer was, Crow, with Crow, right? Kronos. Back then it was just called crypto.com coin, right? But the point is, I did further research into some of these other ones. I'm so glad that I did, because I didn't want to just be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to cash that all out, go on a big vacation. I didn't do that. I didn't go on a vacation or any of that stuff. I reinvested, and I'm glad I did so, because over this time period, I've been able to reinvest into some solid projects at not just bottom, but near bottom. I think Coochie Boy, if I had to pick one guy that stands out to me, shout out to you, Coochie Boy, if you're still here. It seemed like you did a really good job of hitting bottom multiple times. All right. Stevie says, how many Quant? Guys, I'm just being honest. If it's long term, minimum of 10, and my personal goal is 20. I haven't reached that personal goal of 20 yet, but I will. Antonio says, wouldn't Jasmy and Quant pair well? I'm not sure. I know another security on your own data IoT coin. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know about in regards to pairing. Well, you also got to keep in mind, Jasmy is more like, the Internet of Things. Quant is also IoT, but it's not necessarily Internet of Things, that's Internet of Trust. So a lot of times people just read the abbreviations and they get those two confused. But you got to, just understand that there is a difference, but they are abbreviated the same way. But if anything, Jasmy is building an ecosystem. We talked about it. I was very passionate about last night talking about Jasmy. Most of you guys missed that, and it's okay. I'm gonna get that recorded and put out later tonight. If not tonight, be out in the morning. Just a lot of times on the weekend, we don't have a lot of people really watch the content, so it just kind of depends. And that's okay. 62 wonderful people here. Thank you for joining us. And if anything, if you're brand new to our particular broadcast and so on, I want to state this. It's okay. Any questions you have, it's okay. Any comments you have, it's okay. We were there too, part of the whole thing of the crypto journey. So don't feel intimidated. You cannot drop a question or comment. We have a very welcoming community, and we like to welcome you to join our community here at CTN. In fact, we appreciate it for you even taking the time to even just be here on a Friday. All right, Rand, just 500, man. Yeah, hey, 1 quant, 10 quant, whatever. People want to send me some quant, I am more than willing to take some quant. All right, make a crypto movie with your boy and all your interviewers. Possibly. It's just he's not a big crypto guy, so but anyway. If anything, he'll understand by that point that, hey, man, this is, if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't be doing this. Anyway, that not nuts at all, Max. I want to travel as well, see different cultures and food, actually live for a change. Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you pointed that out, man. For the last 10 years, it's either between my mom or my dad, it's been trying to help them out and so on, be a caregiver. At the same time, was it 2013? I was also doing the college thing. There's been times, you guys seen it. I even worked 3 jobs, right? Did the whole thing, teaching, coaching basketball, doing the crypto thing, caregiver thing. Actually, technically that would be like 4 if you want to count that. But you can get burned out. Right? Don't get burned out with anything. But yeah, my plan is I do want to live for a change. I want to do some big things, and I want my dad to be well taken care of. And I want to have a life, but at the same time, I love my dad too much where I'm not willing to. He don't want to be put into some home. You know what I mean? And as far as assisted living, I mean, I can't really. I guess I could afford it, but at the same time, I'm still trying to stack more crypto. It's not that big of a deal to me, I don't know how much time he's got left, so I mean, I just don't want to force that on, and I'm not complaining. We have a good relationship. So, Stardog says I went long on Phantom and Gala yesterday morning, and they're 100% up. Nice. So that seems to be consistent, you guys. You're recognizing what's going on in the market. You're doing the whole futures trading and so on. Very cool, Stardog. Glad that you shared that. Always appreciate you being here, Stardog. All right, Stevie says Quant will go to 6K this bull run. Thank you. That sounds great to me. Interesting. I wonder if people know what country won the big World War II. It's a collection of countries, right? So, but I'm fully aware of the history behind it all. And you also got to keep in mind, World War II affected both sides of my family. It affected my mother's side. Her grandparents were killed by Imperial Japanese forces in the northern Philippines in a death march. It was not the famous Bataan Death March. And then on top of that, my dad's cousins in the army, they helped liberate 2 Nazi concentration camps where they liberate some Jewish people there and so on. And one thing that was definitely clear was General Eisenhower at the time came in and basically said, look, let's document all this. Let's get some, video footage, take pictures, because that someday some bastard somewhere is going to say that this didn't happen. And as I was growing up, actually, there was I had a pastor when I was a kid, and it made me upset that he was kind of like a Holocaust denier. He would say it was exaggerated, and it wasn't exaggerated. You know, I saw some of those photos when I was a kid. I saw that was very intimidating, seeing those graphic photos of those bodies and so on. So, you know, my thing is definitely affected both sides of their family. It's affected the whole world. And you still see some of those effects right now to this day. But I'm fully aware, you know, like Russia lost 20 million of their people in that war. Americans lost 400,000. It's a horrible thing. I hope we can learn from history and not allow that to happen again. Come on, guys. We're excited about these crypto investments. We want to see better days. We don't want to see the world blow up. All right. Stephen Berg says, thanks for all you do for the HBAR and Jasmy community with your content. Thank you again. I think I saw that one earlier. Rand says, Steve, that was what we waited for. Very long, 6K. KVM Kitchen says her quant can go to 20,000 next bull run. Thoughts? I haven't heard specifically 20K, but more than enough people will feel as though that it will be at least, you know, anywhere from minimum 4 figures. I think that's safe to say on that one. And as far as 5 figures, I'm having at least 10K or more. But you know, from there, it's the utility run, right? So, you know, everything with ISO 222, we talk about ISO 222 quite a bit, right? But it's another thing to research ISO TC 307, understand Gilbert Verdian introduced that back in 2015, I believe, and everything that's interconnected with that. So if you have to pick one particular crypto project, which is Quant, that has more layers of utility of anything out there, 100 plus blockchains interoperable, you would think with all that volume and all the utility, with all these standout projects, Oracle, heck, what we saw with Vodafone, right? You know, that's Europe's biggest mobile network, right? Like I said, they're basically like the Verizon of Europe, right? Back when Verizon was big. All these things. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So if utility is being kicked in because of what Overledger brought to the table, then to me, that's just like opening up the floodgates of not just one layer of utility, but multiple layers. This is what I guess you could say kicks in the whole notion and debate of, well, wow, you know, without even doing more of your own research, right? Let's just take a step back for a moment. If Bitcoin was able to get to $69,000 last bull run, 11/11/2021, 69K with no utility, right? Then why not Quant? Well, it's not the same thing. Are you kidding me? If it's not that it's the same thing, there's so much more with Quant to offer. It's scalable. Is Bitcoin scalable? No. Bitcoin, don't get me wrong, it has a pretty attractive supply, you know, scarcity. Quant has even that much more attractive, you know, was 14 some odd million compared to Bitcoin with 21 million circulating supply. So Quant all the way. And that's why I want people to understand with you know, people are going to FUD Quant for some reason. Go back to the whole thing of, all right, what did Bitcoin do? No utility, right? Yeah, it's technically the first of its kind as a pioneer. But what I'm saying is, I'm not also saying that there's no money to be made in Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong. If you got the means necessary, you bought all your altcoins, tokens, and so on, and you want to buy like a full Bitcoin, you came in, let's say you got lucky. You came in right after the fall of FTX with FTT, right? You bought Bitcoin, maybe you loaded up on a couple of them at around 15,800. Am I going to say there's not opportunity there for you to potentially see a 10x? No, I'm not saying there's not opportunity there. There's definitely still opportunity. And I still feel as though that people that came into Bitcoin at 69K and got wrecked, there's still opportunity that for them, I guess you could say, to be made whole again, especially if they held. There's not many of them because they sold at a loss. But the point is, in our true bull run, and after we get this utility run going, it'll be an ongoing utility run. And how about that? We don't talk about that often. A lot of people look at these particular ones. They say to themselves, well, it's just going to be like any other bull run. It's going to have a big pump and a dump. But when you talk about the utility run, understand that's a different layer of a what? A run. And with that said, once we get regulatory clarity, this is what excites people. What excites them is the whole idea that, wow, a utility run could be a consistent run where you don't see those big, large pumps and dumps, right? With regulatory clarity, then from there, institutional money comes in because there's a sense of just that clarity. This is a safe bet. They're going all in. And as a result, retail starts FOMOing in as well. And all those people who made all those posts and all that FUD saying, there's no way we're going to get to multi-trillions for the overall crypto market cap are simply the people who didn't do what? Their own research. Hence, do your own research with me, Max, and our community. It's not just about me. All right. Thank you so much for the question. Stevie states it could, who knows, but 50x from here will be about right. Good point. Rain says 100 billion is nothing with Quant, to be honest. Look, here is the deal. Last bull run, even Shiba with more than 80 billion. Very good point. Even Solana, right? Very good point. And I also want to put this out. I put out an alert in regards to HNT. Now, it's not financial advice, but HNT I consider distressed. This is the lowest helium has been since January of 2021. Now, I understand that Jasmy and Helium got delisted on Binance.us at the same time. Understand that Helium is jumping over to Solana, right? So people look at it as a bad thing. But also keep in mind that, like for myself, in a bull run, I came into Helium at $20. And, I just bought a handful of these and so on. But within a month or two later, I saw it go to roughly 50, 55 bucks. Not too bad. Helium, as we speak, and I'm going to pull this up for just briefly. I mean, this is kind of like bonus footage. And I don't want you guys to ape into Helium. Do more of your own research. Don't just listen to me because it sounds cool. But I want to have you guys understand there's a difference between just hopping on the bandwagon and picking up stuff because, hey, the market's up and so on. No, the time to pick up things is when it's distressed and recognize what's still in distress. So Helium was part of the whole thing with Jasmy of getting delisted from Binance.us, right? Helium is at $1.63. Now, if you've done more research about Helium, you will understand that, they stand out when it comes to data scraping and so on. And I saw, for instance, 2bit, he was stating that, his miner didn't do well. And I understand that. But I hope that he also understands at the same time, it's not about your typical hotspot where you want to put where there's a lot of traffic. The key with Helium, and I've been consistent on this, I mentioned this numerous times because I've done more of my own research on this. I'm not saying that he hasn't. I think it's awesome that he has a miner. I was thinking about mining it as well. I still think about it. But my point is just real quick, okay? With Helium, if you have a friend who lives like in a real rural area or a farmland area where literally, you know how it goes, guys, right? Roaming areas where you get up, there's no Wi-Fi, right? So you can't piggyback off the Wi-Fi. So you're doing real true data scraping. Where Helium's miner or hotspot stands out is in paths where the network becomes 100% reliant on whatever data source that can scrape the data to provide you a service. And look it up for yourself if you don't believe me. There's a lot of people from the Helium community that have been in this numerous years. The consistent thing is that is what causes your miner to really, really bring in the rewards. So I just want to throw that out there. So draw your attention to this because I mentioned to you guys, I came into Filecoin, right? I don't know, was it not even a week ago, last weekend, not full week yet. And I came in at that particular one at an average price of 483. My first bag was 478. My second bag was 483. And at the same time, I want people to understand, and this is not me bragging, but I'm about 69K reinvested into crypto. I pay close attention to certain projects. And I know I come on camera and I say things like, hey, here's what I'm going to do with Power Swap. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I want people to understand I'm actually going to do this. So I did well with that particular one. I think there's something here with Helium. So I'm going to point this out real quick. And again, don't come to me later and be like, oh, you told me to get Helium. That is your personal choice, not financial advice. So I want to draw your attention to this because we are obviously, in my opinion, at the start of the bull runs. Some people are still saying, no, Max, this is a fake out. Hey, that's where we agree to disagree. Pay attention to what you see here. And this is something I'm personally invested in. I own, I don't know, 2 or 3 bags of this and so on. Not a lot, I'll be honest with you. I own like maybe 105, something like that. But I'm looking to also do something like a power move, like I did with Filecoin here soon with Helium. Here's why. So Helium for the longest time was up over $2. I even thought that was like not bad because we see it jump. It's a decent swing trade, bi-weekly and even monthly. Now, I want to draw your attention here because as you can see here, these prices that you see here have not been these prices since the beginning of January of 2021. Helium is a solid project. I'm being honest with you guys. There's some recent FUD, but understand that you can get into this and see some nice gains. Again, it's not financial advice. Do more of your own research. But some of the things that they're expanding on, like this jump to Solana, they're expanding their network. They got this thing with T-Mobile. Do more of your own research in regards to Helium. I might do a particular updated video and so on, but I just want to throw that out there. I put out price alert on Twitter in regards to this. The whole market, for the most part, is doing really well. It looks like this isn't, but this is a direct reaction from the FUD from Binance.us is what suppressed this. A lot of people panicked. They went and sold. This is now a distressed asset, but with opportunity, in my opinion. And I do these types of things. I want to share with the community because I want to see everybody, for the most part, do well in crypto, right? For you can have more money, whether you take it, your profits on the short term, and you power swap it, as I would say, to some of the more the ISOs. That gives you more extra money. I hate seeing these type of scenarios. All right, I want to throw this out real quick. I get asked this quite a bit, and that is, Max, HBAR or XDC. You can only choose one. Why can't you own both? Well, I got to move some stuff around. You open things up for yourself with opportunity like that, for instance, right? So for me with Filecoin, I'm still way up on Filecoin, right? So this is another one that's a power move that I'm looking to do to open up more money for whatever is left after everything blows off, that I can have more money to swap into the ISOs and so on. So I'm just throwing that out. That was not planned or anything, but I wanted to point that out. Stevie also says Doge also with no utility. Very good point. These things launch, but also keep in mind you want to maybe have a little bit of Doge, and I got back into Doge, right? So for Doge originally, for me, if you don't know the story, 300. I got at a penny a piece. Roll that up to roughly 22, a little over 22K. Didn't quite get all-time highs, but real close to it. And of course, if it wasn't for Doge, I wouldn't have jumped into SHIB. You guys know the story. But keep in mind, Doge at some point could very well have the utility that people are looking for. So I don't think it's a bad thing to hold some of that. Some people feel as though it is, some people, like I've heard other people say this. Why would you hold that? Why don't you just put it in some of the utility ones? Like, I'm going to be just loyal to one base because that sounds popular. No, I recognize opportunity. Just like some of you guys own a lot of these utility driven tokens and coins, right? You're going to have the attitude that you're married to just one brand or one category of crypto with the ISOs and so on. No, if anything, like Kushiba, I'm using you for example. All right, I know that you're in a lot of utility, but I also know you have a lot of ones that don't have utility, right? Some of the memes and so on. You've done very, very well. That's a perfect example. All right, Max, I wish your dreams come true. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. They will. I just got to stay the course, just like a lot of you guys. Whatever dream, I'm sure you guys got dreams. If you don't, maybe some of you don't. Maybe just you're comfortable where you're at and you're at retirement. You just want to have extra for whatever case. We all have the reasons, but a lot of us do have dreams. I will accomplish those dreams. I just got to be patient to get to that particular point. Ahmed states, welcome, Steven. Very welcome. All right, cool. Samuel Kim says, Jasmy is going to melt faces. Yes, and I've said this before. I feel as though it could be one of the first ones to get us there. It might be the one that melts faces first, possibly, especially with what's coming up in June, right? Whenever you have a whole country being onboarded again, that's a lot of volume. Stardog says, anyone in Algorand? I am. I hold a bag of Algorand. Probably should have DCA'd more when it was under 20 cents, right? 19, 18 cents and so on. All right, so we got a lot of good things going on here. A lot of people in the comments and so on. I'm just gonna double check the other screen, make sure I didn't miss anything. I did. I apologize. I missed a super chat. So let me go ahead and get into that real quick. And let's see where we're at with that. I think it's towards the bottom. I want to thank Moraine, Ohio. It says Trias was nominated for Best Blockchain Infrastructure of the Year. Well, since you did drop a super chat, and I do thank you for that, we could take a moment to see what you talk about in regards to that. Because obviously that would be the respectful thing to do. So Trias. All right, let's bring that up for just a brief moment. And let's see here. Trias is, hopefully, I think this is the one. It's up 8%. I'll actually add it to my list. This is the new token, which tells me there's a V1 to V2. I didn't see anything else listed on Trias because when I typed it in, that's what it came up as. So I'm thinking that's basically what it is. Maybe we just go there real quick. And is it loading up? Let's see. It's kind of taking a moment. So just give us a little bit of clarification if that's the right one. We'll come back to it. Thank you for your super chat. But anyway, yeah, let me get back into some of the particular news because, you know, we do have quite a bit of an outline for you guys. You're expecting movement sometime next week. Yeah, I am too. Thank you for that, Brian. All right, so I'm going to get back into some of the particular news. We have a very nice crowd tonight, 71 wonderful people. Smash the like, especially if you just joined. I'm going to get into just that. So we talked about Quant earlier. We had that Gilbert Verdian clip from Quant Papa. Let's jump into some of the Jasmy news, right? A lot of you guys talking about Jasmy. Let's get into that. So Fudders like to point out some stupid things. I'm just gonna be honest. They take what's on the surface and they like to go with it. And like I mentioned before, I feel as though a lot of these people are flooding. A lot of these projects are people that bought the top of the mountain and they got wrecked in the top of the bull market. So one of the things brought up with Jasmy a lot of times is, oh, I don't see any pictures of or video of their offices. I think it's just a bunch of malarkey. This is, you know, like people say it's a scam, it's a rug pull. Well, here's like, you know, Zentech, and I do appreciate him. I'm gonna give him a follow. He says, here's another pic he took of the Jasmy office a few weeks ago. I'm going to take more of a deeper dive into Zentech. I'm going to go back into his particular tweets and so on and see if I can get a whole collection of the pictures. Maybe he has video and so on, because if he visited there, hopefully he took some video, but if he didn't, that's okay. But I'm going to do a video to show that, because whenever I could squash FUD, especially for Jasmy, I'm going to do it, because the last time I did, oh man, I was expecting a lot of, you know, backlash from the flooders. It was absolute crickets. Talk Now, starring Maximus. Anyway, so here's another pic I took at the Jasmy office a few weeks ago. Not me, him, obviously. This pic was taken from the hallways as you enter inside. And, you know, as the saying goes, especially in gaming, right? Screenshots or it didn't happen, noob. All right, well, screenshots or didn't happen. It did happen. Here's a particular picture, screenshot. I saw another particular one where I had the Jasmy thing on there and so on. It's cool stuff. Thought I'd share it with you guys, right? That's the only one I have at the moment. We'll get some more for you guys. But here is some of the most recent news in regards to Jasmy. Now, I get it. Some people say that this is speculation, but a lot of times when it comes to speculation, it leads to other things. This is juicy. And the reason why I feel as though that this could be really, really juicy is this. Everybody knows about Pokemon, right? I never got into Pokemon. I remember when I first heard about it, I think I was a senior in high school. It was kind of like one of those things. It was like, I guess you could say it was after my time. You know, some things before people's time. This was more like after my time. I realized it's huge. You know, kids love it. There's people younger than me. You know, Pokemon's their thing. Hey, I have nothing against Pokemon. But what about the Jasmy connection, right? So it says Pokemon on the blockchain. Now, I'm going to tell you guys flat out. There's going to have an outline here. I don't want you to FOMO in, all right? Not financial advice. But my God, if there really is something solid here, this could be the mother lode of all of it. Everything that we talked about here. Don't get me wrong. I love Quant. I love it all. And I'm into all these things. But let's face it. If Jasmy gets something solid for Pokemon, Whoever said recently faces will melt, oh my gosh, it'll be more than faces will melting. You will literally look like that guy from Indiana Jones. Some of those, when the Nazis saw, the spirit came out of the Ark of the Covenant and melt all their faces. Yeah, it'll be like a moment like that. All right, let's get into it. The Pokemon Company, a joint venture between publisher Nintendo and game developers Game Freak and Creatures, posted a listing for a corporate development principal, a role that would advise the company's leadership on strategy and explore new innovations. Listen to this. Smash the like if you haven't done so already. And the firm is looking for someone who is already entrenched within the Web3 world. Specifically, the firm is looking for someone with deep knowledge and understanding of Web3, including blockchain technologies and NFTs. Now, let's stop there for a moment. You know where I'm going with this. You better believe you know where I'm going with this. When it comes to Pokemon, they're trading cards, right? Got to catch them all. My God, this will be the perfect, they call it the perfect storm of what's coming, but a good one, right? Stay with me. So technologies and NFT and or metaverse, but it wants someone who's already immersed in the space, asking for applicants that are deeply connected to a network of investors and entrepreneurs in the technology sectors above, Web3, metaverse, and so on. Now, in regards to Jasmy PDL offers data security and sovereignty. How do we know that? If you don't know about it already, take a look into my deep dive. In the thumbnail, in the recorded, it talks about Jasmy data democratization. We love to provide you guys research. This is not just news here at Crypto Talk Now. Crypto news, education, and even entertainment and AI, right? So look at this. Jasmy Grant, along with Hara, we know about him, right? He's the CFO of Jasmy's management. Let's make the Pokemon partnership a reality. And of course, some other people mention this. There's a thing in regards to Decrypt. I'll pull that up in a second, but I want to get credit where credit's due on some of the other guys who mentioned this a while back. So shout out to this guy, Grabs by Gordy. He originally apparently was talking about this a few days ago on March 12th. And again, this popped up last night, I believe. Where were we on the 16th or 17th? Sorry. So this came up again on the 16th, late last night after my long show with you guys. I saw this and I was like, oh God, I'm going to drop the bombshell tomorrow. And then some people are like, no, it's just speculative. Just hear me out. So it says Pokemon firm is looking for someone, of course, with deep knowledge, understanding Web3, but it wants somebody who's already immersed in the space, asking for applicants that are, just that. And look at what it says here with this particular follow-up. So I'm going to expand this a little bit more. Quote, deeply connected to a network of investors and entrepreneurs. This is Jasmy in a nutshell, right? It is them in a nutshell. It totally is them in a nutshell. Now, if you're new to all this, understand this. Jasmy, Japan, right? All this would make sense. And I think as though if they can make these connections and get to talking to Nintendo and so on, maybe Nintendo has already thought about this, right? But maybe Nintendo has took a step back and said, look, we've had all these banning, with regulations and so on for a country. We can't get into this yet. But again, Jasmy stands out because they're the first of its kind, just like Bitcoin stands out being the first of its kind, right? So for Japan itself, Jasmy is huge because this is how they get the label of Bitcoin in Japan. Now, let's get into this whole thing in regards to Decrypt here in a bit, but look at this particular roadmap, right? Understand that we already came out with the fan token, right? The Sagan Tosu fan token. That particular fan token is another utility layer for Jasmy, and they already have like NFTs for that particular fan token. It's a soccer team. I don't remember the exact city in Japan, but that's beyond the point. Understand this: we covered Chili's multiple times. Those are fan tokens, right? But can you have something like Pokemon Mix? Absolutely. It's just a different mechanism. It's the same mechanism, I should say, but a different layer or a different product. What product? Pokemon, right? So I'm gonna go further into it. I mean, obviously we all know about Pokemon. Let's pull up this article from Decrypt real quick, and let me see where we're at. There we go. I'm sure this tab is instead. This was posted, of course, on March 10th, right? And again, some people say this is a stretch. I don't think so. I don't really think so. I think something could very well come out with this, and you better believe I will love to report on it. So it says, got to catch NFTs. Again, think about the terminology being listed here. Got to catch NFTs. The Pokemon company is hiring a Web3 expert. Ooh. Could it very well be Jasmy? It might not be. It might not be. But also understand this. When it comes to blockchain technology, is it just one size fits all? If we're talking about interoperability, is it one size fits all? No, it is not one size fits all. As we know, when it comes to building an ecosystem, projects have multiple partnerships. So you may very well see another big player come into Pokemon, but you also may see another player in that as well, which could be Jasmy. That's what I want you guys to follow here. So it says the company behind the massively popular Nintendo video game series could be exploring Web3 moves based on a new job listing. What a time for you guys to basically tune into our show. Smash the like if you haven't done so. Pokemon on blockchain, guys. I want to get more in the comments. I swear to God, I will. I always appreciate you guys. But this is something that we really, really need to get into for just a moment because, I mean, this is big, huge potential for Jasmy. Are you not feeling bullish already? I know I am. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about the possibility with Pokemon. All right. So, yeah, we've seen other developers try to bring the video game franchise monster battling concept to life in Web3 with some serious misfires along the way. Very true. But the Pokemon company itself hasn't made any moves yet. And that, again, is one of the key things. However, that could be changing according to job listing. So let's find out more about this job listing. So it says Pokemon Company, a joint venture between Nintendo and game developers Game Freak and Creatures, posted a listing for corporate development principal, a role that would advise companies' leadership on strategy and explore new innovations. And the firm is looking for someone who's already, of course, entrenched in Web3 world. Specifically, the firm is looking for someone with deep knowledge, like we mentioned, in Web3, blockchain technologies, of course, NFTs, and it's got to be that. It's got to be a big focus on NFTs because, again, think about the Pokemon trading game. That makes sense. But it wants someone who is already immersed, right? And has deep connection, like we mentioned before. The listing does not give a clear sense of potential moves that the Pokemon company could make in Web3, whether it's NFTs or blockchain-based game. But Decrypt, like they reported here, reached out to the company for comment on potential Web3 ambitions, but did not immediately hear back, probably because, you know what? You're negotiating. And as we know, when it comes to negotiating, there is, of course, the whole thing of are they going to sign NDAs and so on. So there's more to it in regards to this. And I want people to also know, like it says right here, the corporate development principal will develop an internal innovation channels, for example, and explore potential partnerships. Not one partnership, partnerships, just like I just literally mentioned to you before we got more into this. It's not that it's one size, one size fits all or whatever, right? Or we could just only have one partnerships. And where they're stationed in Japan, this is a huge opportunity for Jasmy. And of course, we could get more into this. I think I'll read this last part. If you knew, Pixelmon, the most famous unofficial example, sold $70 million worth of NFTs early last year before revealing their artwork. And my point is also this, that like it says right here, the next phase of NFT adoption will come from brands you love in your everyday life. Who doesn't know about Pokemon? And who, if you got kids, you understand that when it comes to Pokemon, right, it is in our everyday life. So but we're going to continuously follow this. But man, if that bombshell gets dropped, that in itself could cause Jasmy to just fly off the hinges, right? Go to the moon and beyond. All right, let's get back into the comments. Lottie Dottie says, Bags packed, moon suit on. Thank you for that. Stevie says, Algo will be, he's flexing. Let me see what else came in. Just in case I missed anything else. And I did. Let's see here. We got a super chat from Crypto McDizzle. Or is it a super sticker? I don't know. One or the other. All right, let me go ahead and highlight that. Jump down to McDizzle because he's Mr. For Shizzle, Manizzle for show. I saw Daniel Gatens in the house. Good to have you here, Daniel. Just kind of scroll through, saw you. Sean Crypto Smith is here as well. Thank you guys for being here. Just kind of going further down. All right, so McDizzle says 27,500 for Bitcoin is what we got to. I got an alert earlier. Also, Ethereum is up past 18,000 or 18. I wish 1,800 and some change. Right, very cool stuff. We will bring up CMC real quick to recognize that. Give me just a moment. So let's see. Here's CMC. And as you can see right here, he is right. $27,500.46. On the 1 hour, it's moved up about 0.47%. So that's cool. For the 24 hours, up 6.63%. And guys, how about this? You know, shout out to Coochie Boy. I was talking about Max. Look at the 7-day. Well, on the 7-day, you see if Bitcoin's up about 34%. That's very, very bullish. You know, there's no, I don't know. You guys know how I feel about, you know, where we're going. But yeah, Ethereum, just like KuCoin, they send me alerts, 1,820. I bet you anything, Tether's volume is just going crazy. Let's take a look at volume real quick. Yep, Tether's volume, of course, is consistently number one, right? $63 billion in volume. Bitcoin, of course, is really doing great with volume. So Tether, Bitcoin, Ethereum doing well, even Binance, you know, USD and so on. Conflux, my goodness. So let's see where we're at in volume. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're talking about Conflux earlier. It is up 1,134,000,000 in a volume, right? Way up there. Cool stuff. Thank you very much, Crypto Mike, for your super chat donation. And let me double check the other screen real quick to make sure I'm still all caught up. I think I still am. That's good. All right. All right, so let's get back into some of the other comments, and let's see where I was at last before. I got to go way up here. There's no way I'll be able to read all the comments. All right, so let's see here. You've been in bed with algo, grossly undervalued. It is. Just like, you know, XDC is grossly undervalued, right? Stevie feels as though XLM is great. It's just now going to be a massive gainer, 15x. I agree, 15x not enough. It's a lot higher than that, but that's okay. We could agree to disagree. All right, let me see here. Let me go further down. See if anybody has some specific comments. Thanks for sharing your journey. Yeah, no problem. I just appreciate you guys even being here before you can hear part of my particular journey. But it ain't about me. It's about you guys. Larry's pointed that out many times before. This is not my show. This is not his show. This is our show. It's your show, right? We're community. Thanks for the kind words, CTN. You're very welcome. Nelly, thank you for being here. I like that avatar, man. That looks pretty cool. Let me double check that. Yeah, that looks pretty sweet, man. I like that. All right. I'm trying to see because sometimes I refresh this and you guys got a lot of comments coming. I really appreciate that. All right, so Ahmed says, you know, Veracity have patents in the USA, China, South Korea. Veracity views that reduces ads, frauds, and bots by 99%. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the main things they're looking to accomplish. How come it was on earlier tonight and good for me? I don't know what you mean by that. That's okay. Like the smash button. Thank you very much for that. Metaverse Pokemon Go. Very good point. Dyor With Max, thank you very much. ISO Jetpack says we're gonna be catching humans next in the form of debt. That's a horrible thing to say, but it's true. It's so true. It's sad, isn't it? You keep the human in AI, or excuse me, in Pokemon until they pay the debt. All right. Blackwood says put Liz Warren in a Pokeball and leave it in a closet until her lying butt rots away. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of her either. Very damaging to crypto, just like Gensler is and some of these other guys. Hello again, JC the man, but crypto, he says. I'll give you another plug, JC. You know why? Because you're a cool kid. That's why. Let me see if I can even do it. Where are you at on this? Where is he at? All right, let's give him another plug. So, you know what? You like the content here at CTN? Then you will love the content just by helping a fellow wonderful kid out. JC the man. Let's help him get to at least 70 subs, maybe 80. Go over there and subscribe to him. He came out with a video on March 13th, already up to 6,000 views. How cool is that? Type in JC the Man, all one word, and I'm sure, if anything, you will definitely help a nice, sweet kid put a smile on his face. All right. Let's go further down. ISO Jetpack says, imagine being able to train a token to be more valuable by adding Pokemon, TMS, and upgrades to raise the price. That's a good point. All right. DCR135, welcome back. Jasmy is Japan's contribution to the coming blockchain ecosystem. That's a good point. All right. I'm just going to read one more comment. We'll kick it back into the news. Stephen Burr says, I just added to my position in Quant. Thank you. You're welcome. But you got to keep in mind, that was your own decision, not financial advice. Please don't sue me. But in reality, we cover some good projects. So if we really believe them and we're just going to go to where we need to go, I don't think if anybody's going to really sue me. If anything, shout out to Linwa if he's watching or listening while he's driving his truck, right? Big rig down the road. He did hook me up with one Quant, and thanks for getting into Quant. I guess he got into it at the $40 range when we first started covering it late last summer. Of course, credit to Mike Cornwell. He's the one that tuned us into a lot of these things. All right. I'll actually highlight that one for a reference. All right, let's jump back into the news. We need to do so. We're an hour and 26 minutes into it. Really great turnout tonight, guys. Really appreciate you. And if anything, if you're not signed up on the CTN network site yet, you need to do so. I'm going to show you that real quick. Give it a plug one more time. Of course, there was the creators section that we showed you real quick. Do you know that you can DM other people part of the Crypto Talk Now network family? Like JC the Man, he just sent me a message, and the message says he just made new videos. So I'm going to say, okay, cool. Glad to have shared it. Keep up the good work. And there you go. But the point is, look at all these people that already messaged me already. So if you're not a fan of social media, Twitter and so on, this in itself is pretty cool because you can message on the fly other people part of a community. And that's what's about. And if you want to know how to do that after you make an account, you'll click on here where it says members. This will come up. You can message JC the Man, Rafael Santos, some of the other guys, Bobby Lorette, Crypto Puppet. Hey, look, there's even Rayan. Look how spiffy he looks. You know, he's like, yeah, look at that. That is a suit, a nice looking suit. That's what happens when you have invested into Quant at the early days, right? Anyway, just saying. There's Steve the Canadian. Check out his show, the Lazy Shaman Show, featuring Steve the Canadian. Anyway, all right, let's jump into the news. And we talked, of course, about Quant and also Jasmy quite a bit, right? Glad to do so on that. Let's jump into the next thing that we have for you guys on our particular lineup. Now, that is in regards to the whole talk about XRP and even Cypherium and so on. Now, there is a big moment that I want you to pay attention to, because let's face it, a lot of times, you know, news comes across the screen. Maybe we get distracted with family, other things, chitter chatter, other noises, and so on. I want you to pay close attention to what is mentioned here. So if you're wondering, is Max ever going to get into some of the ISO stuff? Oh, yeah. You better believe it right here. Will there be a crypto that assists FedNow with the instant payments? Well, of course, my answer is Cypherium, right? That stands out big time. But of course, as you also see here, you know, you have XRP, XLM, you know, CBDC, yeah, I know, tagged here as well. Launching in May to July 2023. Listen to what he mentions about instant payments. Listen to what Jerome Powell also mentions, and listen to the date range. Not specifically on a May 15th or anything like that, but listen to the range. Smash that like. This is the ISO 222 FedNow news you're looking for. No, I'm not going to say line out, Richie. Here we go.
As was earlier mentioned, the FedNow is a service that the Fed is working on to finalize that will allow for instant payments between bank accounts. And the Fed has a target release date for FedNow between May and July, which is right around the corner. Do you see any reason why cryptocurrencies would provide faster payments than the FedNow system? And would this offer with the transparency of FedNow, would it offer distinct advantages over some of these stable coins that are touting faster payments?
What FedNow will do is it will enable all the banks, any bank in the United States, not just the big ones, to offer instantly available funds and real-time payments to their customers. That's what it will do. So that's a great thing. A CBDC, I think you're asking whether a CBDC would serve some of that, but a CBDC is going to be years in the evaluation. And, I think we can get this into the hands of the public very quickly. And I think we'll have real-time payments in this country very, very soon.
My God. Guys, come on. Are you not bullish on some of the things that are mentioned? You've done some of the research. We provide you a lot of the research. Heck, why the show's called Dyor With Max. Do your own research with me, right? And some of you guys, right, should be called maybe we'll retitle Dyor with CTN community or whatever. You get what I'm saying. The point is, you really drew those connections. It really has came out and been said, like for instance with Cypherium, right, with FedNow and so on. You're hearing Jerome Powell use some of the, verbatim, like, hey, this is going to roll out real quick for instant payments. You heard the other guy in regards to, was it May through June, July? So it's like right around the corner. We're literally at the doorstep of ISO 222. I mean, I don't know about some of you guys, but to be honest, it wakes me up sometimes in the middle of the night. I'm not kidding. It's the excitement of knowing, like, oh my God, we're right at the doorstep of all of this, just the start of it. And of course, we don't know exactly how huge it's going to be from, the floodgates opening. But the whole point is that they're opening, right? That's the key takeaway. All right, I got a little bit more for you guys before I kick it back into more comments. And I want to draw your attention to a little bit more in regards to the ISO news and so on. So there is this right here. And look what it says. Shout out to Crypto Mess for providing it. It says launch days away, right? ISO 222. XRP, XLM, Algo, XDC, IOTA with the banks collapsing, stablecoins depegging. Let me just double check I got the sound not muted. Okay, cool. So, he's pretty comfortable with his ISO coins. Look what's highlighted. Digital cryptocurrency implications. There will be potential implications, for cryptocurrencies and fiat currencies, especially over the medium term. At present, 7 cryptocurrencies are compliant with ISO 222, and we get this. Some of the ones that we love are not listed on this list, like Cypherium, clearly, right? There's other ones that are going to be compliant, right? They're just going based on the source. So anyway, it says these are Quant, Ripple, Stellar, Hedera, IOTA, XDC network, Algo, and even Cardano, right? We don't really cover a lot of Cardano here. I'm personally invested in Cardano. I have I think I put about $4,000 into that. Yeah, overpaid for it. But, Cardano should be good long-term project. I just think there's other better opportunities. Look what it says on the bottom. Professor Michael Mainelli, chairman of ZN Group, a City of London think tank, commented, quote, an upgrade to Swift messaging is long overdue. Yeah, no kidding. ISO 222 will level the playing field between simple and complex transactions, between traditional currencies and CBDCs, and yes, perhaps between fiat and crypto. That shouldn't be listed last. That should be listed first. Yes, it's not just perhaps fiat and crypto. It is with fiat and crypto. Why is it with fiat and crypto? It's because it's the blockchain technologies on distributed ledger technology tied into this to get it done. When you see, for instance, here's a perfect example, Ripple's on-demand liquidity, that simply makes sense for these centralized banks of the world and so on, right? The financial sectors to implement these particular DLTs. There's a taste of that. So I want to give you guys that. Let me just do one more before I kick it back into the comments. We haven't shared Coach JV's content in kind of a while. I think Larry might have done it last weekend. So, but as far as me, I don't think I've done it in a while. This one was good. So, it's been a while. Shout out to Coach JV. I want to show you guys this. So he states 3 weeks ago at the GBS Summit. Follow the money, not the news, right? XRP, Quant, HBAR, Ethereum, right? ISO 222. You will not believe the video clip he just found. Yeah, if you haven't seen this, oh man, you got to tune in right now. Let's listen to this. This one is slightly under 3 minutes. Smash the like. Let me know what you think. And then we'll get back in the comments here in a bit. Thanks for being here tonight, guys. Really appreciate you. Here we go.
You won't believe the video I just found. Only 2,000 people have watched this video. The 43rd Treasurer of the United States, Rosie Rios, who sits on the board of directors for Ripple, who said she was responsible for signing the last $100 bill and is responsible for bringing in a new currency, said something at a meeting about 3 weeks ago that will absolutely blow your mind. If you are an investor, this is probably one of the most important videos you will watch this year.
Is something we just cannot control at this point. So what would I do as an investor? One, I would follow the money. Yes, it is my name on U.S. currency, almost $1.8 trillion with my name on it in currency in circulation. So no one has made more money than I have. But if I were following the money, where is it going? It's going to the metaverse. It's going to blockchain. It's going to artificial intelligence. Technology and innovation will be the key. And here's what's important to remember. In 2007 and 2008, we saw a huge growth of investment in technology and innovation. This was during the downturn. What was invented in 2007 that has turned our world upside down today? Anyone? The iPhone. Very good. The iPhone was invented in 2007. There is no doubt. And then obviously subsequent to that, you saw Facebook, you saw Google, you saw Airbnb, you saw Uber. In one of our biggest downturns, innovation still mattered. And that's going to still be the case. This is a very resilient global economy. And a lot of that innovation is happening here.
We all know that Ripple appoints former Treasurer of the United States, Rosie Rios, as the board of directors and Christine Campbell as the CFO. We know that Michael Barr used to be part of Ripple, and he's been tapped to investigate what happened with Silicon Valley Bank. If you can't see the writing on the wall, I don't know what to tell you. That's the 43rd Treasurer of the United States, who has deep connections to Washington, who's on the board of directors, and keeps telling us the freight train has left the building. So in the link in the bio, you watch the full YouTube video. Love you guys. Appreciate you. From my family's heart to yours. I hope you're preparing for the biggest shift in generational wealth. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go. If you're still here and you need help getting your shit together, join my 120-day challenge. Link in bio, 7 days for free in 2023.
All right. So shout out to, again, Coach JV and the 3T Warriors Academy. Great content creator. Consistently has been bringing us, Ripple news, ISOs, and so on continuously. All right. Let's get back into the comments. I want to welcome Hold Always Wins. Says hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Guys, let's welcome Hold Always Wins. Consider changing your avatar to something that speaks more about who you are and what you're about. Any questions, comments you have, feel free to do it. You already did one, so keep doing it. Excuse me. All right. JC, the man says, this is me. Yep, it definitely is. And let's see here. We have Calvin in the house. Thanks for being here, Calvin, with the T6 glider. You're on your account right now. Cool. Go to bed, JC the man. LOL. Really? On a Friday night at 9:54 p.m. your time? All right. I hear you. All right. Mr. Lambos, Crypto Talk said, what's up, CTN fam? Thanks for being here, Mr. Lambos. All right, let's see. ISO Jetpack J0229 Max, you are the GOAT. Such an Oprah moment. Well, thanks, man. That's a nice compliment, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. I do try it. Anyway, but I do appreciate that. Everyone's welcome. Mr. Lambos. I think somebody said Linois in the house. Is he in the house? I just gave you a shout out earlier. Is Linois in the house? Well, maybe you're just saying it because I said that earlier. All right. Stardog said Max's wisdom teeth segment yesterday was hilarious. Oh God. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Yeah, we're not gonna get into that again. No. Yeah, it is true though. All I gotta say is thank God they didn't grow in cricket because that would have been less crypto. I know. Anyway, yes, I'm bullish on Quant too, Tim. Tim Shea, you are the man. Tim Shea is more than the man. All right, he is literally the crypto commissioner. He is the mayor of crypto. And for some reason, when I think of Tim Shea, I literally think of Gary Oldman's character from the Dark Knight trilogy. And then I basically repackage that and say to myself, but the crypto version, Tim Shea, right? Crypto commissioner. All right. Coochie Boy said, did Manic flip Doge? Let's take a look at that because it could very well have done that. Thank you for that report, Mr. Coochie Boy. Let's jump into that for a brief moment. So we have, let's actually just refresh it real quick. SHIB is trending, number one trending crypto. That's good. All right. Yes, it did. Coochie Boy is correct. Manic did flip Doge. Now, another thing I want to keep in mind, and I will give one more plug to us because I need to. Where are we at? If you have some spare time and you haven't done so already, I want you to do yourself a favor. It ain't a long video. Go to this video 2 weeks ago. It's about how Polygon will go absolute parabolic. Now, I'm not a fortune teller, but I feel as though it could. Why is that? It's because of this thing called ZKEVM, and it is still massive news. Now, that's supposed to go live on the 27th. This video, it's recorded. It's only 3.5 minutes. You owe it to yourself if you hold Manic to find out what I'm talking about in that particular video. And on top of that, if you're looking to DCA more or do a power move, you want to pay attention to that specifically because that is the oh wow moment for Polygon coming up here soon. All right. I want to kick it back into a little bit more of our news. Let's get into that. So we talked about the whole thing with ISO 222. Of course, Mr. What's his name? Coach JV, right? Here is some stellar news, okay? And if anything, this came out about a month ago, and I don't know if I had a chance to share this with you guys. So my thing is this, right? We, of course, talked about the new aid initiative. Maybe some of you guys have seen this, maybe you haven't. It's only 2 minutes and 5 seconds, but people should know about the new aid assist. So we're going to play this. Only about 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and we'll come right back. Smash that like. Thanks again for joining us here tonight at CTN. Here we go.
Humanitarian aid serves as a lifeline to over 100 million displaced people in crisis around the world. Unfortunately, distributing aid to displaced people at scale can be a challenge due to high costs, damaged infrastructure, fraud, and a lack of transparency to ensure aid goes to those who need it. Now, with Stellar Aid Assist, relief organizations can use a first-of-its-kind blockchain solution to deliver aid instantly, transparently, and globally. Stellar Aid Assist leverages the power of Stellar, a proven, decentralized, and open blockchain network to get money into the hands of those who need it quickly and at a low cost. It's fast to deploy and can scale easily to meet a moment of crisis. Here's how it works. Your relief organization can use Stellar Aid Assist's innovative bulk disbursement tool to deliver aid directly to your own pre-approved lists of recipients in the form of digital currencies, like Circle's USD coin, USDC, a fully reserved dollar digital currency. Recipients can then access their aid directly from their phones using participating digital wallet applications without needing a bank account. Finally, they can choose to hold their digital assets as a safeguard against local currency devaluation, or exchange them for physical cash at one of MoneyGram's hundreds of thousands of participating locations around the world. With Stellar Aid Assist, relief organizations can feel confident their aid will be delivered transparently over the blockchain, instantly at scale, and at a low cost. This means your aid recipients can access their relief funds digitally regardless of where they are. in stable currencies like digital US dollars, all without a bank card or account required. Stellar Aid Assist makes aid accessible for all and enables equitable access to aid. Learn how Stellar can empower your organization or the organization you donate to deliver the future of aid today. Visit stellar.org/aidassist.
All right, so that's the video today also for XLM. That's kind of funny how that played. So I want to point this out. So, you know, I said numerous times, I feel as though that at some point, if you had to pick one cryptocurrency to be literally the cryptocurrency of the world, right? After watching that right there kind of makes you feel like, all right, that makes sense. That could be the one. You don't need to have a checking account. You saw the particular example being listed right there. And if anything, especially when it comes to third world countries, it doesn't diminish the value of that native currency. That is so powerful in itself. You know, that makes it worthwhile. You know what I mean? Like, you have literally an entire nation's economy recognize, you know what, Stellar all the way. And with everything that's coming here soon with ISO 222, this is why we bring Stellar to the big talk that we have and so on. It's not just, you know, strictly Ripple and so on. Stellar is always in that mix and always part of the talk. Has to be, right? So hopefully you guys appreciated that particular video. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it, some of you haven't, and so on. But it was only like 2.5 minutes or something like that, and it really gets the job done. Gives you the visuals, the broader understanding, and so on. Really cool stuff with Stellar Aid Initiative, right? All right, so let's jump a little bit further down into some more comments. We have Moonbird. He says, "You guys stacking game tokens or only ISO projects?" We do all sorts of stuff, man. A lot of stuff, but I mean, for me personally, I'm more focused on the utility ones. Don't get me wrong, I own quite a bit of the ish coins, if you will, tokens and so on. But I have some game tokens and so on, especially with Chili's. But anyway, I'm also into some metaverse projects, right? GF Burke says, "Lifer just got over. What's up, Woot?" You know, I spell Woot just like you. The W00T, especially when I'm gaming. GF Burke, welcome. Glad to have you here. I don't know if I've seen you here before, but glad to have you here tonight. And we hope that this could be a regular platform that you would like to come to. Yep, McDizzle's right. We have all kinds of projects. He who is called Tim is here. That is true. I guess it's one of your friends, Tim Shea. Very cool. I'd like to welcome you again then. If that's the case, if you know Tim Shea, that's a good thing. Moonbird says there's a party on the moon, I hear. Yeah, I heard some weird reports from you guys. I don't know if that's where you're going. Anyway, Stardog says, "I'll be falling asleep soon, but I'll be to the crypto talk now. So keep going. I'll be dreaming about crypto and how much money I'm going to make in the bull run." All right, no problem, Stardog. You have a great night, man. Thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate that. All right, so the only quote white guy named Jerome. No shade, but like, come on, what the heck? Yeah, you know, I never thought about that. That is true. Only a white guy named Jerome. Think about like the Portland Trailblazers, Jerome Kersey. If you watch, for instance, one of my favorite shows, I'm gonna be honest. One of my favorite shows. All right, Snowfall. If you wanted to actually see a Grand Theft Auto, the TV show, it's Snowfall, right? So one of the main characters in that, his name is Jerome. Is he white? No, but that's funny. All right, let's go further down. Burke says, "If you've never stacked this much silver, ammo, and ISO in your life, hit that like." Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. So is Cypherium going to be better than XRP? No, I'm not going to state that it is, but I definitely think it's one to have part of your portfolio. So in today's particular recorded video, it says, for instance, actually, I'll just show you kind of like just a brief thing about it because, you know, you should take some time to watch it when you get a chance. You don't have to do it right now. Let me see if I could pull it up. Let me just pull up our particular channel. So here it is. This was released today. Recorded video section. We have a lot of videos, right? So it says FedNow goes live in July. Do not dismiss Ripple's partnerships. CPH, as in Sky Guo, versus Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple, right? I'm not trying to create tribalism, but yes, do not dismiss Ripple's partnerships. Everybody's putting the whole emphasis on FedNow. Okay, FedNow is what? US based, right? And so on. Yeah, we understand there's some central bank connections and so on. But come on, man. Ripple has over 200 partnerships. Shout out to Crypto Mike who gave us that info last night. 200 partnerships. We showed you 20 last night. You cannot dismiss those particular partnerships, right? And knowing that, how about the regions of the world that Ripple operates in, right? So this whole thing is just like FedNow all the way, all my eggs in one basket. I'm not doing all my eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? That'd be like becoming some. I saw one guy, and I don't mean, I have no disrespect to him. I think he's a good guy. He's very passionate about it. And that is shout out to Web36. He basically became a CPH maxi, right? A Cypherium maxi. Some people are going to do that. I talk about quant all the time. Am I a quant maxi? Not really. I mean, it sounds appealing, right? But I understand the power of diversification. Am I a Jasmy maxi? No. I have a decent amount of Jasmy, right? But the point is, I'm more comfortable being diversified. That's why we talk about ISO 222. And, this channel is not just like XLM or XTC only or Cypherium, so on and so forth. So that's where I'm going with this. Do not dismiss Ripple's partnerships. I don't think necessarily that, saying that Cypherium is better than XRP. Maybe it's better than XRP as far as a FedNow perspective because we already have that particular connection. Yeah. But overall, no. I would not say that is the case at all. Tim Shea says, Cash, I have Gala 2. And we have an update from April Cornwall. She says, Floodgates, LOL, LOL, I am. Well, you have an updated picture. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's a cool new look. Looks good. Looks really good, April. Mike will be very proud. Thank you for joining us, April. Appreciate you. And let's see where we're at on the comments. I have to go further up because this thing refreshed. So I'm going to see if something else came in because I don't want to dismiss anything. Let's see where we're at. All right, I didn't miss anything. All right, so no need to be sorry. All right, Jetpack says, yes, we're going to be rich. The hardest thing is preparing for it. GF Berg, my 16-year-old has more quant and Bitcoin than me. Wow, nice. Tim Shea, Mr. Lambos, I feel both will be used. So Ethereum has a much farther market cap wise to run through. Very good point. All right, McDizzle says he dropped these Neezies off in the quant baggie. All right. And if it moons, how will I get my canes? Tim Shea, it would be nice if more than Mexi had. Yeah, I agree. We need more exchanges, but that's all right. All right. People freak out about bank stuff. Someone is coming over tomorrow and I'm selling an SKS for crypto. Barter baby. Your 2-year-old hodls 10 quant. That's pretty cool. All right. Let me see here. I will read this too. This flood is the exact same as we had with digital music, and Apple will come around to make it mainstream. Very good point. There's the bomb. Maybe you guys were talking about when I was doing the whole thing with Jasmy. I don't know. I'll sub. I know Tim. He's cool. Oh, right now. Yeah, he is cool. All right. Get 10. Hold on. Yeah, 10,000 XRP. Everything is icing on the cake to build for that. Without XRP, a lot of new people would not be in the crypto sector. All right. See, we're also at on this. I want to welcome Rippler Prepper. I finally sent you back a DM Rippler Prepper. So sorry about the late response in regards to that. I'll definitely try to keep more up with that. Here I am. We don't really shill out, but we shill our site and so on. So my thing is, I've been doing a better job of trying to answer back in regards to that. So I did not know about your particular situation. Thank you for sharing that. And hats off to you, man, for just keep plugging along, and especially for your crypto journey and so on, like what you mentioned. He says he'll be holding his small bags. Their longest, yes, it is a competition, lol. All right, I'll read this real quick because it's JC the Man. So April Cornwell, who is the mother of JC the Man and the wife of Mr. Crypto McDizzle, says JC the Man stays up until like 3 a.m. on weekends. Oh, especially spring break. Yeah, they outlast me. So is your spring break like, is this, technically today was the start of it, or is this the end of it? Like for some of the schools here, I just think it's ridiculous. Like they'll do spring break like a week before the rest of the nation. So it's like if you have relatives in other states, you can't hook up with them to do like a 1 week vacation because your school district is, here I am flooding my local school district that I work for. They probably wouldn't like that. Well, too bad. It's true. All right. All right. XDC and XLM, you're stacking. All right. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. Let's get back into the news because I know that you guys want to probably have some more of that. So we did talk about, for instance, Quant, Jasmy, even some XLM. Cool stuff, right? Here we go. So it says XDC, tell all your friends. I'm going to go ahead and share it for you can see it. This is good. I reviewed this earlier, and I said I need to share this with our community. Why is XDC rising? Right? It has been rising. So Salamander, if you're still around, this one's for you, my friend, and everybody else that holds XDC. Let's listen to this. Smash that like. Thanks for being here tonight. Here we go.
XDC has been rising quick over the last couple of weeks. It's up over 7% today and over 20% for the week. One reason for that could be the launch of ISO 20022 compliance starting on Monday. While there are no coins that are compliant, the network itself does send approved messages. To send those messages, it uses a project called Impel that's built on XDC and even allows you to send Bitcoin in an ISO-compatible messaging fashion. XDC could also be benefiting from the Electronics Trade Document Bill in the UK. This document, simply put, will allow trade finance to operate on a digital basis instead of through paper. And then there's the multiple projects that are built on XDC. Globiance, which is a bank meets a crypto exchange. Plugin, which is an oracle on the XDC network, much like a chain link. CGO, which is a gold-backed crypto built on the XDC network, and Primeport, which is a multi-chain NFT marketplace. Those are just a few of the projects that are being built on XDC. In addition to all that, they're also working on tokenization of real-world assets. So now may be a good time for you to check out XDC and see if it's a good investment for you. Do your own research, like and follow for more.
That was really well put together. I mean, he basically hit every single aspect of that. Give me just a second. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, I mean that's the way I look at it. I mean, that was kind of like the best key highlights of a few projects. There's obviously some of the ones. I mean, he could have technically included like meta blocks, right? For their particular metaverse, right? But yeah, that was really well put together for like a minute and a half. Glad to share it with you guys. Yesterday, of course, we reported on the whole thing of that digital, what was it again? The digital, not digital, electronic trade documents bill and how huge that is for trade. You're not going to want to miss that particular video either. Just in case you haven't seen it, you want to catch up on it. It is right here. And it came out about 12 hours ago. The electronic trade documents bill. It is so big. It's huge for XDC, right? Or anything that's involved with the trade sector. Of course, XDC definitely stands out for that. But it's very, very big, very, very bullish news for XDC, especially if you hold it like myself. But anyway, let's jump into some more coverage before we kick it back into the news. So how about this Alliance block, right? We have some Nexera news for you guys. Probably wondering like, what the heck's going on with that? This was reported earlier today from Rashid Ajaja, if I'm pronouncing that right, the CEO of Alliance Block. I think about basically 5 or 6 hours ago. So it says, we are proud to share that Alliance Block Data Tunnel is the first solution in our ecosystem. And on top of that, it also goes on to mention that this is the first step in bringing their No Mercy community closer and taking, deeper and more meaningful participation in their journey. Look what it says. Alliance Block enters a new era, or in this case, a next era, no pun intended, of community governance with data tunnel. So you may be wondering, what in the world is this? Let's get into that. So this was posted earlier today, straight from their Medium. So if you want some of the hot, fresh news, here you go. So let's get into this. So earlier this year, Alliance Block introduced the launch of Alliance Block DAO to empower the No Mercy community to take a deeper and more meaningful look into participation of just that, their journey. Today, specifically, Alliance Block is proud to announce that they are taking the next step towards community governance with Data Tunnel as the first solution to be governed by the DAO. Now, on last night's show, I pointed out how I feel as though, like, you see big things with Alliance Block, right? We understand the whole thing with, what they bring to traditional finance, that bridge from traditional finance to decentralized finance, right? But another thing that stands out for them is data, right? Another thing that stands out in another particular project that we talked about earlier, Jasmy, is what? Data, right? Data democratization. Understanding the significance in regards to that. Now, back to the topic in regards to Alliance Block, it says that they have always been a community-driven innovator, and that they firmly believe that their community governance is the most important step towards a sustainable future. Now, a little history lesson, right? So it says, since 2018, the No Mercy community has grown into a large, engaged, professional, and mature community with a diverse skill set and cultural background. Their infrastructure, if you're wondering, is now at a stage of maturity where they can confidently hand over the decision-making process to their community to govern. In reality, all DAOs should have proper governance, or otherwise, what the heck are you doing, right? So this is a crucial step in further evolving their community and shaping up their future for Alliance Block. They have examined other DAOs, learned from the experience, and decided, listen to this, that a staged approach to fully realize this transition is the best way forward. This will give No Mercy community plenty of time to prepare for governance process. As a result, they will be able to learn and use input and guidance from the DAO to improve the process in the following steps. Now, here are some of those particular steps. First is the DAO governance will be able to delegate the decision-making of the data tunnel, develop priorities for the community. The Alliance Block Data Tunnel is a decentralized data marketplace that unlocks the value of data by making it easy for anyone to publish, contribute, and even consume reliable and standardized data. You can find more about the powers in the new data economy here. We get more into this, but keep in mind, this allows data contributors to control and even monetize and benefit from their published data. Can you imagine that? Think about this, right, real quick, right? There's two big connections I want to make. I'll mention Jasmy again. So with Jasmy, what stands out for them is data democratization. They're giving power back to the people of Japan. Their data. Can you may think, well, what's the big deal? I don't understand this. And that's okay. That's a fair enough question. To put it in layman's terms, to kind of bring you back to where I'm going to make sense of this. Simply put, can you imagine the days of, for instance, Web 2? I mentioned in Web 2 because of what? Social media. So, for instance, not necessarily MySpace, but the beginning days of like Facebook, for instance. You go on Facebook, as you know, yeah, it's free, but is it really free? The price that you pay is giving up your data freely when you agree to sign up for a free account, and all that particular outline that you see in the fine print that everybody just like blindly just scrolls down and hits OK and makes an account. You allowed Facebook to have access to all that data, for they can send that data to various different marketing agencies and so on, for they can do targeted ads, you name it, right? I mean, think about this. As we speak, if I start talking on just even right now, and I keep mentioning something like, Ford F-150, blah, 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 Ford F-150. If I kept saying that numerous times, out of nowhere, this darn phone might just start showing me Ford F-150 ads or some other things, maybe Craftsman tools or Stanley tools, you name it, right? But the point is understanding the significance of what Alliance Block brings to the table, and as well as even Jasmy, because just like it says again, I'll reiterate this, this allows data contributors to control, monetize, and even benefit from their published data. So if you're able to monetize anything, like I'm a content creator, right? So our channel is obviously monetized. We obviously get a certain amount of ad revenue that we, earn a cut, I guess you could say, from, if somebody was to watch one of the recorded videos, and let's say one of those targeted ads, right? Let's say you guys were looking up, I don't know, what's the next big day coming up? I don't know, something for Easter or something like that. You're going to get Easter gazebo, right? And you clicked on something from one of our videos, right? And you actually bought something, and we get, of course, a little cut of that. My point is to have that particular data contributors to control, monetize, and benefit from that. That is a game changer, just for the same reason Jasmy is with data democratization with data lockers, right? So this gives data contributors, like it mentions, the right to influence what happens with their data. And on top of that, distributed ownership and control are genuinely disruptive advantages for the users of Data Tunnel. Now, in regards to Data Tunnel, it says this is impossible for existing data management systems, as data is controlled, like we mentioned, like with the Facebook example. We can even throw Google into that mix, right? Because like it says, it's impossible for existing data management systems as data is controlled by a centralized entity. Think about the whole concept of cryptocurrency in general, right? Decentralization. So that centralized entity are only made available to those who pay for it, limiting the control over and benefits of our digital interactions. These features align the data tunnel and its decision-making process with a DAO governance model. For some new people, you may think, like, man, this is way ahead of me. It's really, really key in understanding this, because if anything, you will recognize the significance of why this is big for Alliance Block. It says in the future, Web3 community data sets may become community or even user governed. It is imperative to include the community early in development process to determine the development priorities for the data tunnel and identify what resources should dedicate to those areas. Of course, they have various other priorities of that specific data, but what really, really stood out for me is what you kind of like see right here, and that is companies and communities that work with data can now request access to the private data of Data Tunnel to the benefit as we work together to refine features and functionality further. They're embracing the community, and they're embracing the concept that we don't necessarily just want to freely give away our data. Just like Jasmy doesn't necessarily want to freely give away that data. That's the whole point and one of the main layers of that utility. So we understand that Alliance Block has multiple layers of utility, and that's very, very cool. But I like what we see here. And, there's a whole, of course, deep dive that we could take into this. But keep in mind, the key thing here is this: empowering the community, empowering the people to have access to their data, and they have a say on what they want to do, and even be able to monetize that. That is very cool. That's the difference, I guess you could say, between Jasmy and Alliance Block's data policy is, for instance, with Alliance Block, you can monetize that. That's super cool stuff. All right, let's go jump further down into the comments. We have GF Burke, who says ISO stuff is so fast and cheap to send. I've noticed. Jetpack says law, land, air, water. If it's not backed by an element, it's useless. Tim Shea says can't go wrong with those triple X's, XRP, XLM, XCC. I totally agree. Blackwood also states his XDC bag isn't as big as he would like before the 20th. Same here. I could basically use it. I want it to be bigger too. We all want ours to be a little bit bigger. But grateful for being able to get what I have so far. That's the way I look at it too. I could have just went all out, like diamond handed maybe like 2 or 3 of them, right? But my thing was I wanted to be more diversified, and so as a result, I stretched it out farther. And I think in crypto in general, that's not a good idea to do. But with the ISOs, for me personally, I feel as though that was the thing to do, because I know what's coming up here soon. I mean, come on, the 20th, we should start seeing the start of something big. All right. Stevie says his last job was at MoneyGram. Oh, nice. Well, that's interesting itself. Well, maybe if you are willing to do it, make an account on ctnnetwork.net, share some of maybe your experiences there if you want, because I mean that's useful info, and you never know, I might be able to feature some of that on a particular video, because I actually want to get more use cases or hear more stories of people who actually worked at MoneyGram. This got brought up a while back. All right, Jetpack says, but all cryptos ain't for banking. We have to understand that. I think we do understand that. Know what sector you're invested in. Very good point. Ripple Prepper is saying hello to Blackwood. Tim Shea says Blackwood at 3 cents. It has so far to run. Machines don't have the same ISO code, but here's still ISO. ISO is standard, not a name for a coin. Very true. And understand, everybody, there's different ISO standards. Perfect example, ISO TC 307 with Quant. And ISO standards apply to more than just, I literally just said that. So we're on the same page with that. Honora Chenechurum, excuse me if I'm not pronounced that right. Gracias, morning, sir. Solana to the moon. All right. Well, thank you for being here. I haven't seen you here before. Let's go ahead and welcome you. Let us know the right way to pronounce that. We'll try to get right for you. And also consider changing your avatar to something that speaks more about who you are and what you're about. We have a very welcoming community. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Jerome Powell. Okay. Yeah, Snowfall is awesome. I love that show. Such a good show. I won't ruin it for you. But did you get to see, have you watched all the episodes? Did you see the final episode of the last season? Because, man, this won't ruin it, right? So NWA Straight Out Compton played at the end. I thought that was so fitting. I was like, yeah, that just kind of gave me some goosebumps when I heard it. Anyway, Touche, Jetpack, you like that series too? Yeah, it's an awesome series. Yeah, it's great. Nothing is necessary, better than just use at the time. All right, let's go further down. Let's welcome Selmo Fudd. He says all those Ripple partnerships are overseas. Yes, very good point. Don't just dump all your Ripple to hop into Cypherium. That's just the way I look at it. I don't know. I mean, some people say, well, it's going to pay off better, maybe in the short term, but I just no. I'm not going to go that route. No way. But yeah, glad to have you here, Selmo. Always appreciate you, man. Tim Shea says Max Quant is definitely your favorite, but you are invested in many, many projects. Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. I cut back a little bit, but now I still think it's about 50. See, about 40. It's like 47 to 50 at this moment. Tim Shea says Selmo XRP is definitely global. Stardog, you're still here. I thought you went to bed. Well, I'm glad you're still here, but also scared to sleep in case my lungs dump. Jeez, that's why you're here. That's okay. Steven Berg, with less than 6% of the world in crypto, what excites me is that we are extremely early. Yeah, great point. Very, really, really good point. Abram Loeb, not to be confused with singer Lisa Loeb. This is a glitch on Coinbase. $11 in Tribe was 14,000 suddenly, but couldn't transfer to Coinbase. Yeah, that's always going to exist. If that's the case, I mean, everyone's going to laugh when they hear this, and this affects a lot of you guys. I mean, I remember looking at my Coinbase wallet and it said I was worth billions of dollars through Shinobi, and look how that worked out, right? Yeah. Thank you again, Somo. Stardog saying something about me. Here we go. Hello, Tim. Max is invested in shed loads and has a waiting list longer than. No, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm invested in a lot of things. There's other guys here that got me beat. You know, it's not a competition, or is it? No, I'm kidding. Mike Cornwell, he's in a lot more projects than me. Maybe Kushu Boy might be in more projects. Who knows? Maybe even Selmo. You know, I'll tell you this much. I mean, Selmo, hopefully you don't mind. I think you mentioned this before. So we're talking about like Shiba Inu diamond handing, right? So I have well over 1 billion of those. If I'm not mistaken, did you mention you have like 3 billion of them? So, man, and I know that you've been invested into Ripple, I believe, since what, 2017, 2018, something like that. So props to you, man. Mad props. All right. April Cornwell says they had like 10 days out. They go back. Oh, okay. So, all right. So then that's the start of the spring break. So they're on. You guys are on the same page, like normal people for the rest of the country. It's so weird here. I hate it because like I feel so bad for like my students and so on. Like, they want the only time they really get to enjoy being with the like other family members is obviously Christmas break. Because that's like global, like it's the same time. But if it's spring break, it's like it's a week before everybody else. It's like that's why would they do it that way? So, to me, it's dumb, but whatever. Stardog says, Salamander, you have been trolling CoinMarketCap XDC comment section. Oh, he's been posting there. Cool, good. I'm glad to hear it. Tim. Oh, okay. Monday. Tim Shea, Stardog, I know I am in so many projects, but yeah, Max is definitely in more. You guys are too nice. It's not a competition, guys, but it's all right. All right, GS says Mud XDC. Hello, everyone. GF Burke says once more CAXs and KS. She ripping. Open source layer 1 has already been ripping. Nice. All right, let's read River and more, like maybe a couple more comments. GBEX is going uphill every day for the last 3 months, basically, like you guys have mentioned. All right, so GG, XRP, XLM, XDC, Quant, Algo, VET, Cypher, all great projects. Keep stacking, mates. Cheers. Yep, cheers back to you. Thank you for being here. Welcome, GS. And yes, technically speaking, I don't know why it doesn't get brought up enough for inventory, right? For the inventory ones. All right, so let's go ahead and highlight that. Let's get back into the news. So we talked about this whole thing with the Alliance block. Glad to bring it to you guys. Let's get into a brief segment in regards to LCX, because everything you see tonight is actually tagged and covered. Who else does that, right? I don't think a lot of guys do that, but maybe they do. Maybe they do, and they just don't read your guys' comments. I'm just saying. It's a reality, right? All right. This is from 2 years ago. Hear me out, right? But the thing is this, it's the message. It still pounds home even right now. Monty Metzger, CEO of the Liechtenstein Exchange, says Liechtenstein Crypto Assets Exchange, basically in a nutshell. Listen to this. You probably missed it. Well, I'm glad to bring it to you. Minute and a half. Come right back. Smash that like. Thank you very much.
So I am true a believer that we are still at the early ages and the beginning. If you look at financial assets to be tokenized, we're talking about several $1 trillion entering the market in the next couple of years. And that's the big opportunity to really take it out of the kind of the niche to become a global opportunity.
There's a next wave of the crypto industry and blockchain industry happening, which means institutional investors and professional investors are entering the space. To make that happen, regulation, due diligence, and a lot of new tools had to be created and invented to actually enable a growth wave of the overall crypto industry.
That's why I think coming from the token, we will see a whole wave of tokenization of every financial asset. Everything that can be tokenized will be tokenized.
And for me, blockchain is to the money what email was to the letter. Blockchain is to the money what email was to the letter. So it is truly the introduction of a new technology to the financial monetary system, which is disrupting or innovating the usage of money and also the usage of any financial asset which could be represented on a token on the blockchain as well.
All right, glad to share that with you guys because it's a great reminder in regards to what LCX has accomplished. And if anything, it's kind of like a nice compilation of various snippets from Money Metzger of LCX. All right. We have a super chat, and I guess I took too long to get to it. My bad. My God. How far off am I? Well, not too bad. About roughly 15, 20 minutes. And it's from Salamander, the XDC commander. Thank you, Sal. Appreciate it. He says XDC, XRP, Quant, Casper, LCX, HBAR, XLM, Flare are my bags. Very nice. Very, very nice. Very cool. Glad to hear it. Thank you again for the super chat, Salamander. I can't go wrong with any of those. The only one I don't hold, Flare. Although technically LCX, I just talked about LCX, but I gotta get under 10. My thing was I having problems with both Coinbase and even the LCX exchange, but I'm gonna get into it. It'll be more than fine. But I don't hold Flare. I do believe Flare is a great project, though. I know that a lot of people dumped on them. Anyway, thank you for that. All right, let's go further down. Let's say VeChain is great, just don't have any because it's not on a lot of exchanges, and getting interest from gains will cause loss. Mr. Burke says this guy is even more calmer than Austin. Okay. Yeah. GS Salamander HBAR. XRP and ADA to close in price to choose OD rather than get more of what I know works. This show is way better, JS. Well, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that, man. That's a nice compliment. All right. Stardog says you can you can get VET everywhere, can't you? Coinbase, just about everywhere. Not exactly everywhere. All right. Salman says GBEX is a utility token is my next one. All right. Yeah, I mean, don't think, guys, you may think I'm dismissing it. I'm not. It's just that for me, as you guys know, I'm on a lot of different ones. So for me, I said this to Mike, Crypto Mike. So for me, it's must-haves for myself is Rio. Believe it or not, Mike, yeah, you did sell me on Elk and LCX. Those three. And then after that, I'm just stacking more of what I currently have. I totally need to get more XDC. I think I should get more XLM. To me, that just makes sense. I already doubled my position in that. It is what it is. All right. ISO Jetpack says data is the new money, people, or the new digital oil, right? Who has the most data has the most money. That's a good point. Never thought about it that way. All right. You love your 79 F-150. All right, man. Yeah. You know what? I would love that too. There's some good trucks back then. What happened to MMA? So, I mean, I can't really go into all the detail in regards to that. We originally did cover that. They just chose to not go with us anymore. That's all I'm at liberty to say. And I'm not going to flood Monkey. I'll just state this for the record. I think it's a good project, but for whatever reason, they just decided that CTN wasn't for them anymore. That's all I'm at liberty to say. I'm not going to pull turn this whole thing into a Saitama moment, because I don't even think this is a legitimate good project. A lot of you guys are personally invested into it. And I'm not at the point where my ego or Larry's ego is to the point where we're going to come out on record and just because they had some issues with whatever, man, I'm just not going to get into that. It's not worth it. And it is a good project, but I will state this. I think it's a shame that we are not able to cover it anymore, because we see what's going on, and they are building, they're doing some big things. And that's all I can say about it, and that's all I will say about it, and so on. But it sucks to be proud about something. My heart goes out to Larry in that regard. That's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I'm going to say about it. All right. So GF Burke says, yeah, I have Faraday bags for my phones. ISO Jetpack J0229 information is just as valuable. And I don't want something to turn, I don't want anybody to turn something into something like, I don't want this to be like a Steve at Rocket crypto moment or something like that. And by the way, we were probably going to have him on the show, ironically, for an AMA for Bull Run Life. But it's nothing even that big, really. It's just, I guess you could say it's just one of those things. Anyway, MMI is still doing well. That's good to hear. iOS app about to be released. Chart is healthy, winning off. Yeah, very cool stuff. Start on nothing. They are still building out the project. They are releasing their blockchain sometime this summer. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. All right, ISO Jetpack J0229 is all about going through audits. I think I'm towards the bottom, sort of, and then we're going to get back into the news. I might take another look at them. Okay. All right, let's go further down. Let's see if you guys got any specific questions. Maybe this is a good comment. With less than 6% of the world in crypto, what excites me is that we're extremely... Yeah, you mentioned that before, but that's still a good point. All right, I want to welcome Miguel. Good to have you here, Miguel. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Want to see Diversified Max, XRP, XLM, XDC, Quant, HBAR, LCX, Corium, Solo, CSC, XSP, SRX, GBEX, my gosh, ACH, Rio, DAG, SHIB, Jasmy, CPH, Nero, Hedera, Casper, Route, LBC, Long Beach, California, straight out of Long Beach. No, okay. SGB, Flare, Anchor, XYO, ZEP, ALBT, Nexer. Very cool. Very, very cool. I will not try to one-up you. I could have mentioned a whole grocery list as well, but that's not my style. But thank you, though. I'm glad you shared that. You doubled your position in Cypherium. Awesome. Awesome. Let's take a moment real quick to see what's going on with Cypherium. And hopefully you didn't FOMO. Hopefully you waited for a pullback. Is there a pullback? Yes, there was a pullback. Yes. Thank you very much, Miguel. You know, that puts a smile on my face to see that you didn't buy on a green. So guys, Miguel made his announcements. We did have a pullback. Eventually it was going to happen, right? So it's up to the the 8-cent raise and so on. Might have a little bit more of a pullback. Yeah, people basically kind of took some profits or so on. Interesting. Let's see. We can do the candle chart. Yeah, here we go. So good. Glad to hear it. 22% down. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, it's been a really rocking and rolling. How do we know that? Well, let's pull that up for just a brief moment. I believe Cypherium still ranks number 1. Conflux got a beat just slightly. So Cypherium up 110% for the week. Okay, so that's cool. Mr. Miguel, Senor Miguel, muchas gracias. Thank you for sharing that. All right. I might show a little bit more comments, but if anything, I'm going to get back into the news here in a bit. Sold it and got more coins on the drop. You're flexing. Very cool. Grabbed 17K Cypherium. Nice. There's so many more I want to stack on. XDC, XLM, Cypherium. Heck, how about it's Quant, obviously. It's just a lot more expensive. All right, McDizzle says, in a 100x OP trade, if it does well, I'll be loading up more MXC. Cool. You also took some profits from Jasmy. You'll get more coins on the drop. All right, fair enough. They don't go to school on Fridays either, LOL. All right. All right, let me get back into the news. Let me go ahead and share some of this with you guys. So this time around is Hedera. Somebody was thanking me earlier, or thanking us, I should say, for covering Jasmy Hedera. So if you're still around, this is the HBAR news you're looking for. Lionel Richie. Yeah, you got to keep doing it. I know. It's addictive. Larry, you want to, you're like, why does he always say that? It's because of Larry. All right, every time Menelek came in, hopefully Menelek's having a good night. Every time Menelek would come in, Larry would always say, hello, is it me you're looking for? Lionel Richie. So if that's what you're wondering about, he would mention it literally like clockwork every single time Menelek came in. So that's where that's from. It's not me just being off the wall. All right. Here's some recent Hedera news. This was printed yesterday morning, but it's big. So Verifiable, if you're wondering about this, ESG metrics are critical to sustainable future. Hedera is providing the infrastructure for a foundation of auditable, comparable, and trusted sustainability metrics, bringing the balance sheet of the planet to what? Distributed ledger technology. Now, of course, we're going to take you to this particular Politico one and so on, but it really, really gets into it. A lot of people are excited about it. This guy's like, this is awesome, go team, and so on. But let's jump into that. And I won't read all this because, man, I mean, this is really like big, deep dive stuff. So, of course, building a framework for a sustainable future while bringing the balance sheet of the planet to the public ledger is critical for sustainable outcomes. But if you're wondering why I mentioned this, let's get right into it. The reason for it is, and I know this kind of looks funky, but hopefully it is big enough. It says a recent study from Simon Kucher and Partners found that 60%, listen to this, guys, of consumers rated sustainability as a top purchasing criteria, but consumer behavior and brand loyalty are ever evolving. It will increasingly take more than just eco-friendly buzzwords and marketing spin, sometimes referred to as greenwashing techniques, to attract and retain loyal customers. Today, companies must focus on transparency by providing proof points and accurate data. A little bit more in regards to this. This is a particular quote, and I'll jump further down. So it says, businesses that fail to take sustainability seriously face economic and reputational risk. Most Fortune 500 companies have adopted net zero carbon commitments, and ESG reporting is becoming standard practice. Now, as we know with Hedera's hash graph and so on, right? Hedera really stands out as being the most green of all green in these particular crypto projects. In reality, it's not a blockchain, right? But, you know, from the blockchain-esque of these ones, Hedera takes the cake. Then second place, and it's not even a close second, guys. Let's be real, right? It would be Algo, but it's not a close second. If you look at the stats, it's not close. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. So, ESG reporting has become a standardized practice. According to this person, Anil Meany Rubin, Chief of Staff and Head of Global Policy for Hedera. And she goes on to mention, or maybe it's a he, I don't know. Yet when it comes to credibility and implementation, we have hit a wall. Ooh. So they're recognizing that they're super green, but you can, you know, basically run into certain barriers. Now, in regards to a little bit of the transparency, listen what it says here. They need transparency and efficiency with carbon market industries because that has never been more pressing. All intakes and offsets could be published, shared, and even laid bare for the world to see. But in order to bring proper accountability to sustainability efforts, companies must take ESG accounting to the next level. The balance sheet of the planet must live on a globally available public ledger, providing true transparency and tamper-proof metrics. Listen to this quote. We can't survive on this planet unless we act sustainably, Rubin said recently at Davos. And he also says, it is at the root of Hedera and the opportunities that we provide to build sustainable tools on their particular platform. And then, of course, it's exciting, right? Look at also right here from this. Okay, so it is a lady. The technology we need to navigate the environmental crisis already exists. It is critical that policy makers, listen to this, guys, we're talking about all the regulatory clarity. This is big for Hedera, so pay attention. All right. It's critical that policymakers and regulators support continued innovation on the public ledger to secure a sustainable and prosperous future for all. They recognize that just because they're super green doesn't mean that everybody wants to just hop on it real quick. Sounds cool on paper, but if you're going to run into a wall or a barrier, a brick wall, or whatever you want to call it, how do you respond to that? All right, let's get into some of the response in regards to that. So they recognize that as companies increasingly focus on providing results from their ESG efforts, how is the advancement of digital ledger technology, DLT like blockchain, addressing the need for transparency? In what ways will it help organizations build out a more climate resilient future in Web3? What does the impact look like for everyday customers? I mean, to a sense, it's kind of like, well, no kidding. Is it rhetorical what they're asking here? But here it mentions specifically what we're looking for. DLT allows us to put the balance sheet of the planet on the public ledger. Until now, we relied upon trusted institutions to conduct audit reviews on the public ledger. Data is cryptographically secured yet accessible to all network participants in real time. In essence, DLT provides a sole source of truth. Now, when we go further down, there's implications, like I mentioned, for understanding and internalizing risk. But by using DLT, everyday consumers can and confidently align their spending with their values. All right. Now, I want to point this out. Last week, we got the whole reports in regards to some of those particular proxies going down. Some people wanted to flood that. Understand the whole purpose of having proxies to begin with. It's not to, expose the original IP address, right? And if anything, you wouldn't want that. Like, Hedera is a big project. Why would they want to just put it like the, give away? It's kind of like me giving away my home IP address and so on, just to when I do transactions and so on, right? So we understand the value of having a VPN and so on. I also understand what Hedera brings to the table with how they have things in place with proxies. So it says, with the widespread use of data or proxy data, there has been little incentive for companies to go beyond auditing their direct scope 1 emissions. But DLT is revolutionizing the way data is gathered, owned, and used. So kind of like a little bit more of a reiteration, if you want to say what's one of the main topics of, do your own research with Max tonight. I'll tell you this flat out. One of the main key takeaways is what? Data. How do we know that? Shout out to Jetpack. He knows what I'm talking about. And that is basically like what I like to call digital oil, right? Data. There's so much value in data. How do we know that? Jasmy, data democratization. Alliance Block, right? What they bring to the table with, are you kidding me? Being able to monetize your own private data. And then now with what you see with what? Hedera. So while we put so much focus, right, on some of these ISOs and other projects and so on with utility, understand that the consistent hot topic, at least for tonight and moving forward, is the power of data. Are you invested into projects that have things focused on data? And if so, do you understand how that's so big for Web3 moving forward? Now, I want to jump into this for a brief moment. I know this is kind of a little bit of a deep dive, but it's good to get into this stuff. It says, firstly, it can grant businesses granular insight into a range of ESG metrics, digital monitoring, reporting, and verification. DMRV sources data from LiDAR, satellite remote sensors, and other Internet of Things tooling, and then process it in real time using what? Machine learning algorithms and even, you read right, AI. Secondly, once automatically and immutably stored on the network, this data can be tracked, traced, and publicly verified. Ultimately, responding to growing climate risk means going beyond ESG reporting. Yeah, no kidding. You got to be innovative and you got to go beyond, as Gilbert Verdine would say, your walled gardens. How do we do that? Well, it states the HBAR Foundation grantee TYMLEZ does this by making data actionable. TYMLEZ's carbon reporting solution presents data in digestible ways. No, not by consuming it, right? Like in your gut, by empowering clients to make informed decisions on which decarbonization strategy best reflects their unique priorities. So kind of like the same case as before, giving power back to the people, for instance, where there's Alliance Block with data monetization, Jasmy with data democratization, or how about this? Businesses, institutions being able to choose what they do with their data and where it goes, and if anything, keeping it secure. This is why I like to put so much focus on some of these particular projects, because there's so much more to it than just what's on the surface with, payments and messagings and transactions per second. So I'm glad to be able to bring this to you guys and so on, to give you a broad perspective from, I guess you could say, like an educational point of view of understanding the differences between various blockchains, the projects, and especially data. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Let's kick it back into the comments. And let's see here. We got Stevie who says, I was at MoneyGram when a Chinese company wanted to buy MoneyGram, but Donald Trump wouldn't let MoneyGram be owned by a Chinese company because they would see all the transactions in America. Huh. That is interesting. Thanks for sharing that, man. All right, let me go further down. ISO says being into too many projects shorts yourself thin and shows you're not sure of what you hold and pick everything. You know something's going to be great, double down now if you're rich is okay. So my thing is that's a great statement, right? And you may be thinking, well, if it's a great statement, Max, and that's what you're doing, that's not a great statement. Hear me out. I think that by diversifying into many different ISOs and other particular utility driven projects is the way to go for me, because in the past I would go all out on just like a few, like where there's Shiba Inu, right? Like diamond handing that and so on. The story was 8K and 88K. But at the time, if I would have diversified a little bit more and spread it out a little bit better, I think I could have done even that much better. I know that ISO based coins and tokens is huge. So for me, what I wanted to do was to make sure that the ones that I feel as though really stood out, I'm into those. And then from here on out, whatever is left that hasn't been quite yet affected with crazy price action, I want to take advantage of what I like to refer to as power swaps, so I can have more to put into these specific ones to stack more. Now, of course, if you have the means necessary to make that all happen without doing things like that, you got to do what you got to do. But I want people to understand that that is how I personally go about it. And of course, everybody's going to go about it a different way, and that's totally fine. But that is the way I like to go about it for my own particular crypto journey. All right. Gumta says, hi, Max. Telcoin, good project. So we talked about that last week, and hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. I apologize if I'm not. I think, if anything, I'm going to eventually get into that. I want to take more of a deeper dive, but I believe last Monday on Utility Talk Now, there was something big that happened in regards to, what was it, Nebraska, I believe, with their state legislator and so on, and it really made Telecoin stand out. And if anything, I don't know if it's on my short list, but it's definitely has moved itself from my watch list to go further up on that particular queue. I do think there's something to be said that's there. So people feel as though it's 100x, but in reality, there's a lot of projects going into the bull run that could not only 100x, could 1000x and so on. But I think definitely there is something there. It is obviously in top 100. I do think off on the surface is a good project. But again, do more of your own research, look into it more. But definitely, I would recommend having like a crypto Twitter account, right? Just, to go on there. You can see some particular, interviews that was mentioned in regards to, what they got going on with Nebraska and so on. So do more of those deeper dives, if you will. And if you see a good content creator that's covered it already, listen to what they have to say, but don't base everything, of course, obviously off that particular person. You owe it to yourself. Obviously, read a white paper if there is one, at minimum a white paper. Find out why Telcoin continuously has done well. I remember basically back in the 2022 bear market, which of course a lot of people still feel like we're into it. Telcoin consistently did do well, right? Might not as done as well as like, ALI, Ali and Filecoin and so on, right? Or Singularity Net, but it definitely popped off numerous times. There's something to be said about that. So maybe that doesn't quite answer your question, but I think just off the surface, to answer the question, it seems like a good project. All right. Sean Reynolds, do you believe any initial price action will occur with ISO going live on Monday? Yes, but here's the thing. So let's say it's banks in which like they implement it and it's in their system. How should I say this? I kind of look at it like this. You have a computer. You do a service pack on that computer, right? Like I say, it's Windows based, right? So you go with, service pack 1, service pack 2, whatever. Depending on your internet speed, depending on all sorts of things, it could take a while for your computer to implement that service pack, right? That particular upgrade. Does it mean that you are doing all sorts of other things while that service pack is being upgraded? Not necessarily. But the point is, there's a whole bunch of you guys who decided to maybe install a service pack, 1, 2, whatever the case be, and do other things. Maybe you make purchases, whatever the case be. The same thing could be applied for banks. I know that's a weird analogy, but hear me out. So the same could be applied towards banks. It depends on the banks that will use these cross-border or overseas payments for their particular bank and take advantage of it at that particular time. Now, how many banks will at that time? I think there will be a few. I'm not saying they're going to be all of them. And of course, this is where some people stated that they feel as though maybe by the 22nd, you should really start seeing that. So to answer your question, yes, I do feel as though there should be some kind of initial price action. As far as anything going parabolic, who knows? But I think it's definitely the start of that going on. But don't be disappointed. Like, for instance, let's say, I'm not saying necessarily XDC, but don't be disappointed if it some of the other ones are Power ISO, right? Whether it's HBAR or some of these other ones, you don't see that just flying off the rails real quick. But they will get there. I think XRP, XLM, and some of these other ones obviously will definitely stand out. Some people mentioned that as far as Quant, that could very well be like June and stuff like that, because they make everything interoperable, but it's not necessarily the utility kicking in yet. But we'll see. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know exactly how it goes, but I look at it from all these different perspectives. So thanks for being here, Sean Reynolds. All right. 5 project for middle class, 10 for above, 1 for the poor. All right. Let me go further down. Yeah, but there's so much more than that. So basically, they're looked upon, GF Burke as being like a blockchain bank, and on top of that, they tokenize real world assets and so on, right? Like they're basically tokenizing like anything and everything, like literally diamonds. Look more into Leo X, look more into diamonds is what it's called, just like diamonds, but they pronounce with a T. They really, really stand out. And this is why a lot of people feel as though like they're so excited about LCX, because they feel as though that is like the next big opportunity to become like the next BNB, but so much more than that. Because as we know with BNB, I think the only utility layer they have is that it gives you discounts, right? If you hold BNB for their particular for their exchange. Big whoop. Right? With LCX, there's so much more to it than just that. All right. I'll read a couple more. I'm gonna kick it back into the news. ISO Jetpack says if you're gonna hold Flare, just hold XRP like WTF. Yeah, good point. River, what's the Casper Starlink connection I've heard about? So I don't want to make I don't want to make a big thing out of this, because I basically did this, I think the other day on a recorded. Oh, that's Casper Starling. I thought I was talking about the other one. Well, you know what? I think I did do something like that. I think it isn't recorded. But we could also get into that maybe a little bit later. I think I have some Casper news, if I'm not mistaken. It's a good question, though. Stevie says Morpheus Network is going to be better than that. I consistently hear that. You're not the only one who feels that way. I consistently hear that. I'm not going to, of course, quote Mr. Me, Myself, and I don't know if he's still here. But I don't know, maybe he feels that way. But I think both are good. But you're not the only one I've seen that made that particular comment. Pulse Unity, your number one brand in crypto. Hi, everyone. Hope you're all well. Well, hope you're well, too. Thanks for being here. GS has got the monkeys going on. 100,000 Jasmy, and you good? Well, then if that's the case, I am more than double good. All right. Personal opinion is Jasmy is a great watch. Yes, I agree with that. All right, so I'll read yours, McDizzles, and then I am going to kick it into, because I didn't notice we have a whole wave more comments, which is good. I appreciate that, you guys. He says, I can say it. Crypto Talk Now has an amazing community. Thank you. But it doesn't have 500 clown Moonboys on it. Moonboy YouTubes have higher numbers of people. They want numbers, not educated. Here's the way I look at it. That's a good point you brought up, and I don't bash other content creators. I might make a little joke about crypto Bill Weather, right? I think he's a good person overall, right? He has, he gave us his perspective and so on. All I'm saying is this, right? So, for people who are like wondering when's it going to happen to us for us to blow up, I'll tell you when it's going to happen. For the same reason I said this, I think on yesterday's show. So I remember watching a few content creators. I guess I'll throw one out. This is not nothing I'm saying that's bad. So for instance, Your Pop, right? He covers Shiba Inu. I remember following Your Pop before his channel blew up, like really, really blew up, right? So first all-time, like major standout all-time highs for Shiba Inu was roughly April, May 2021. I remember he was covering it a little bit before that. So when that happened, his channel started like really blowing up. And then of course, when he went to all-time highs, his particular channel just went huge, really big time, blew up. And of course, for what it's worth, I mean, a lot of people, I guess you could say, lost respect for him because, he starts shilling a lot of, I guess you could say, ish coins, as people would say. And then this is the gripe I have. If you're getting paid to promote a particular token or coin, you can at least update your communities on like if a V2 is coming out, right? I understand the whole concept of, do your, we always say do your own research and all that. But I mean, if you're getting paid to do paid promotions, I think anything, you write something down on a piece of paper or a sticky, or you put on your fridge or something that says, I covered this project on such and such date. This is a meme coin project, right? This is not like it's blue chip, crypto, right? Like some of the ones we're covering. You say to yourself, I have to keep track of what's going on with this. I at least going to follow it on Twitter. I'm going to keep myself updated on it. Or I'm going to have somebody from my so-called Discord or Telegram or whatever the case be that supposedly works with your production, keep on it. And that way you're protecting your image and so on. And at the end of the day, it's not about that. My thing is this, all right? I'm a sinner, right? I'm not claiming to be the greatest Christian in the world and so on, but I try like anybody else. It doesn't set well with me, and I've had this conversation with Larry numerous times, and he feels the same way. It doesn't set well with me to promote something that I don't feel solid about, right? And on top of that, it doesn't set well with me to have a bunch of people ape into something, because a lot of people, let's face it, are going to ape into something. And then knowing that, there's some people in which this is no problem, right? You guys are retired, you're set, you're good to go. But there's a lot of us aren't set, aren't good to go. And this is, you're working overtime and you're throwing your good hard-earned money into this, and to not get updated on a V2, really? So that's my thing. Maybe that sounds like me talking about it. I'm just being real. But anyway, he's a perfect example of his channel blew up after especially we saw all-time high for Shiba Inu. I mean, he's up to over 200,000 subscribers, something like that, right? Some of the other guys, right? My point is, with our particular channel, I see that happening. Shout out to LeGrand Commission. He said, how your channel will blow up is when there's a real bull run. Your channel blow up. We already had a taste of that. Our numbers are way up compared to where they are as far as the live and stuff like that. Another thing I want to mention real quick is so that's the way I look at it. Once this utility run happens, ISO 222, later on down the road, there's a difference between the start of a bull run, start of a utility run, and then oh my god, generational wealth and so on. So I think if anything, that of course, people FOMO in, right? Just like the saying goes, there's a person standing at the line for one person standing at the line for XDC at 3 cents, right? But everybody will get in line for XDC when it becomes $80 a coin, and there will be herds of people, right? And that's just rally when it comes to anything. The same could be applied for content creators, right? And we know that. That's the point I'm trying to make, is a big wave of people will start coming in because they'll just simply type stuff, and the YouTube algorithm will kick in because it'll be all right, well, these guys covered this a lot, and then you'll see more and more people. But here's the thing, right? And McDizzle's right. Shout out to this amazing community, because you guys were here from, I guess you could say, the beginning. You did research with us. You knew what you got into. You understand, where some of this stuff is going. And so if anything, you bought hopefully close to the bottom and so on. You did some power plays. Shout out to Miguel, right? He did wait for that pullback, bought more Cypherium. He's got me beat. I only got one bag of Cypherium. But the point is, you know what you research, know what you hold, know why you hold it, stay the course. You're almost to the finish line. All right, let's go further down. Sean Reynolds says, will CPH listing on other exchanges anytime soon, do you think? I don't know about that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and basically highlight that. And I'm going to kick it back into the news. We are approaching the 3-hour mark, which is kind of a long show, I understand. But I'm glad to do it, especially like on Fridays. I don't have to do it. I realize I don't have to do anything, but I like to do it. I like talking about crypto. I like growing our community. I like a lot of things like that. So anyway, let me see. Let me send a message to Crypto Smith real quick. All right. So let's jump into it. We did the whole thing with HBAR. Glad to do that. Let's jump into Casper, because I know some of you guys were recently talking about like, hey, you going to cover Casper tonight? Yes, I am going to do just that. So shout out to the X Frontier. I'm going to give him a follow. He says, when it comes to adaptability, Casper is like Play-Doh, while other layer ones are like rocks. That's a great analogy. I like that. I think I'm going to have to steal that one, maybe retweet it. Right. So he says the Casper network architecture is a fundamental game changer. How about this? New consensus, no problem. Just drop it in. Check. New key type, no problem. Just drop it in. Check. New contract, no problem. Just drop it in. Check. New virtual machine, no problem. Just drop it in. Check. The Casper network architecture, future-proof 2.0. Casper. Now it's going to take us to this particular one. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's pretty long, but this content creator, he doesn't even know who I am. I doubt he knows who I am, but I do this every now and then. I appreciate this guy's content. So if anything, I'm subscribing to him, and I would advise, if you're into Casper, give him a follow too. You know why? Because this guy's a good content creator, right? His name is the X Frontier. And if you start commenting in there and so on, you can let them know I sent you. That's fine. I love seeing people who are passionate about crypto, especially Casper, get some recognition. So anyway, we're going to play a little bit of this. He did a very good job of chopping this up and putting it together. Let's listen to this. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. I'm not going to play the full 13 minutes, but listen to what is mentioned here. Maybe I will, and maybe I'll take a pause and we'll come back to it. But this is good stuff. The Casper network architecture, future-proof 2.0. Let's go ahead and play it. Here we go.
The community wanted to know, the question was, so we run a poll each week, and the community really wanted to know, what is our mission? Why are we here? And so I'll talk a little bit about our mission and why we're here. We believe that the CBC Casper type protocol will provide a mechanism for blockchain to scale, right? So we believe that proof of stake is the future. We believe that the current proof of stake protocols are not decentralized enough, and we believe that there's a path forward using the CBC Casper research. The second piece of it is we believe in the promise that blockchain can bring to society.
Why are Bitcoin and Ethereum so beloved? It's not an accident that they're the two biggest protocols out there. They are completely decentralized. This decentralization, however, has come at a cost. So many people have tried to sort of circumvent the costs of decentralization. There are two mechanisms under which they do this primarily. Mechanism one is they try to do it through some form of centralization. You either do this through delegation and voting, or you can do randomization and pick which validator does it. The second way is to have a layer 2 solution. The way a layer 2 solution works, as per the diagram, is transactions come in to the layer 2 solution. They're essentially batched and then posted to the blockchain. Neither of these are bad solutions, by the way. We think you have to get layer 1 right. What we are proposing, which is slightly radical, is What if we could build a blockchain with neither of these compromises? Of course, this is not a trivial task, and now I'm going to talk about how we propose that can be done. Essentially, you need to do 4 things, and I'll go into these in detail. First, you need a virtual machine that works and is multi-threaded. Second, we have to move away from proof of work to proof of stake systems. Third, we have to offer a sharding solution that allows heterogeneity of the network. And by that, I mean different properties in different places. And finally, you have to have state-of-the-art tools like other software platforms have to enable rapid development, easy development, and make sure it's accessible to everyone.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the X Frontier. You heard from both the co-founders of Casper Labs. That was first Meta Parlikar, the CTO, followed by Renal Manohar, the CEO, presenting at Japan Blockchain Conference in Yokohama back in 2019. Wow, Casper has come a long way, but blockchain in general has also come a long way since the inception of Bitcoin back in 2009 to the
All right, so I'm gonna pause it there. There's a little bit more. We may get more. Yeah, I'm going further up. I did review most of this, but not the whole thing. He does have some other pretty good, juicy stuff to share. So we will take a moment to pause it and get back into it. Crypto Mike Cornwell, I apologize. Didn't see your super chat. So let me go ahead and do a stop screen. And if anything, I'll read one more comment you had. You said you're glad we don't shill ish coins here. We are all educated, not paid to shill coins that do nothing but offer exit liquidity to YouTubers and their paid sponsors. Yeah. So I just want to state this. I mean, hold on, let me highlight that. So, we may do, for instance, like an AMA, and people, I think for the most part, understand that when it comes to AMAs, it's like, it's on them to kind of bring it. We may possibly do the whole thing with BRL. Again, I feel bad for one of the main guys. He came here, he dropped some super chats and so on. He's been in contact with me about, possibly doing something like that. I think he said something like his daughter was in the hospital. So, I didn't want to really push that. And at the time when he was getting a hold of me, my dad was doing the whole, having the whole thing in the hospital. But I'll follow up with him and so on. But yeah, we'll do the AMA, and if anything, maybe do a poll on our site or YouTube or both to see how you guys received it. And if it ends up being something which you guys want us to cover it more and so on, but we'll see what happens with it and so on. I'll state this on the surface. You guys know I'm not a big to the extent of like SHIB and stuff like that. Not really big on the memes. I'm more towards the utility ones and so on. But with Bull Run Life, I'll state this much. I do like the idea of the scarcity with it. There's not a lot of those coins, right? Or tokens, I should say. And on top of that, it's hyper deflationary. So those were some appealing things to it. But yeah, thank you for that, Mike. I'm glad you pointed that out. Let me just read one more, Mike, and I swear I'll get to it. I'm already late anyway. One up wasn't my intention. I know. It's okay. Max just wanted to show you that I'm not effing around with the future money. It's all good, man. Here's the thing. If I said that and it came across wrong, I didn't have no bad intentions either. You also got to keep in mind, guys, I mean, it's text. So how do I know what kind of emotions you have, right? But we're good. No problem. Blackwood, appreciate you, man. I will own what I eat and I will be happy. Go tell that to Mr. Klaus Schwab, right? All right, let me go ahead and get down to Crypto Mike's super chat. My bad, Mike. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and highlight that. Mizak, yo, I've never been called Mizak. Mizax? Maybe it's your autocorrect. Got a tizag. All right, you're starting to sound like Snoop Dogg, right? That's all right. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Let me go ahead and pull that up from Crypto Mike. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit some of that perspective and what was shared from that gentleman, Mr. X Frontier, right? I thought that was pretty cool. All right, man, let's start look really rough around the edges. All right, so let me get to this. So where are we at? Here we go. straight from Crypto Mike. He says, megaphone pattern, yo. Oh, wow. Can we blow up bigger? Maybe that's I guess, well, it's just a little bit bigger. You know what? Hold on. Let's do it the right way. You did a super chat. Let's make this as big as we possibly can make it. Hold on. That's not going to work. Hold on. It has to come up with a certain type of URL that starts with PBS. There, I see it. When it says PBS, that's how you get it super big. All right. So Mike says, what did he say? He said, megaphone pattern, yo. Like he's like, wow. All right. So let's go back on this. So here's back in 2019. And oh my goodness, right? Looks pretty impressive. All right. You ready for this? Here's 2023. See where you have that start on 2019 and it took off, guys? See the similarities? You should. Maybe you think, well, it hasn't happened yet. We're not going to show you what happened yet because it hasn't happened. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I'm still sticking to my guns. I still feel as though we're at the start of a bull run. I think it's something else. I've been pretty consistent with that too. Thank you, Crypto Mike. That is pretty cool stuff. All right, I'm going to leave that up for you guys. I'm not going to exit out. I'm going to leave that up. Thank you for that. Tim Shea says, Blackwood, I've been having more of an issue with that lately too. But hold on a second. Yeah, I know sometimes, Mike will tag me. And then he's like, dude, I tagged you multiple times, Max. So let me see if he did tag me multiple times. Hold on. Actually, let me just go ahead and like that, retweet it for you. Some of you guys like some of my tweets. I don't see anybody else that. Dang, who is that? Nice. Oh, wait, sorry. Somebody that was following me, but probably is a fake person. Anyway, yeah. I almost had an Eva moment, as Tim would say. Max, when are you going to get Gilbert Verdian on your show? Oh man, I get Gilbert Verdian on our show, and we basically go from almost 11,000 subs to probably like 100,000 overnight or something. I don't know. Anyway, but anyway, yeah, that was cool. Let's get back into some more comments. That was from Jay. He comes here every once in a while. He might be here right now. I don't know. All right. GS says, what? Cow farts equals Solana block. Yeah, that's a good point. People are sleeping on ALCX. To look it up, it's a self-repaying crypto loan. ALCX? Not LCX, ALCX. Huh. Well, I added to the grocery list, man, because you know what? We're 3 hours and 7 minutes, and if I get into that too, I'm going to be here for 5 hours. I'm sure you understand. I'll definitely add it to the list, and I'm doing it right now. So ALCX. ALCX. God, this list. You guys want to hear this list real quick? Film Crib, Netflix Killer, ArcBlock, ABT, Morpheus Network. We already did Cypherium. There's Vector Space, EGLD, BRL, which I already researched, InstaDApp, SEEQ, Flare, VAIOT. Shout out to Mass Debater, Scallop, ALI. I've presented that to you numerous times, but I mean, we could do a deep dive. ORAI and AI, WadsPay, which is WTK, KS, Realm, GQ, Galactic Quadrant. Obviously, Energy Web Token, Cello, Ecomi, Axlar, ETF, Tazit Pay, Hello. We already did that one. Vila, we already did that one. Shout out to Brian Dowie. Fear NFT, we did Affinity for Miguel. We did Lattice for, I forgot who it was that wanted us to do that. Semaglutide, which sounds like, like monosodium glutamate or something. I don't know. Armweave, Everscale, Casper, Double X, which is something Tim Shea is into, Shria Space Token, and ALCX. So for all those people who are like, oh, Max, you know, I tell him about stuff, but he doesn't write it down. He just like all the other content creators who say, oh, I'll look into that. I'll look into that. Yeah, I write it down. It might take me a while to eventually get around to it, but at least I write it down. All right. So let's see here. We got Pulse Unity, your number one brand in crypto. Pulse Unity, monetizing value of the data in social media. Cool. I didn't know he was going to read my drunk tweets. That's funny. Nope, not buying anything that talks like that. All right. Pulse Unity, great to watch a show that mixes business while you can drink beer. That's funny. People will funnel in on Jasmy when it hits close to 10 cents. Good point. Burke says Houdini swap. If you want to protect your crypto transfer, shh. Crypto Smith says, how do you have the energy for 3-hour live streams? How about last night? 4.5 hours. You know what? I have the energy now. You know why I have the energy now, my friend, if you're still here, which you might not be, and that's okay. The reason why I have energy for it is because it excites me. Excites me to know what is here soon. That's where I get my energy from. All right. I like that, Max. Great answer. Go. No, okay. I'm not gonna say the bad word, but anyway. Well, I'll say damn, but not with God. Anyway. Tim Shea, the mayor of crypto. Yes. Quant keeps stacking them. Very good point. Let's go further down. Just double checking. I don't have a super chat or something. I think I exited out of where we were. Hold on a second. All right. Let me see if there's another super chat, because I feel bad when I miss a super chat on time, because then I'm like, oh, that's why we didn't get my super chats, because I don't read them in a good amount of, like, boom, off the bat, right? So Blackwood having a conversation with CryptoSmith. By the way, who was just here? Surf My Life. I'm sorry. Surf My Life. Welcome. Quant, keep stacking them. Thank you. Sorry. I was thinking that you're somebody else. I'd like to welcome you. Consider change your avatar. Something speaks about who you are and what you're all about. Let's welcome Surf. And I guess Tim Shea's already on top of it. Thank you for that, Tim. All right. So Blackwood says to CryptoSmith that that was the first thing I ever said to you ever. Here's a fist for you, sir. Interesting. Jetpack just loves it when I read his comments that with his broken freaking caps lock key. That's okay. He's not yelling at us. He just has a broken caps lock key. Quant is not one coin you want to play with. Definitely a buy and hold and give to the kids. Yes. HBAR, XDC you play with. XLM, XRP you stake. Good point. All right, KK says Sean Max is an AI robot. No one can go this long. Oh, if you only knew about some other things that I'm not going to mention because it's too personal. Anyway, CryptoSmith, Max is a robot. Nobody has this kind of energy. All right, well, thank you. Miguel, I bought Panda AI coins just for the heck of it. All right, interesting. I think we're close to the bottom. I don't know. But good to have you here, Mr. CryptoSmith. ISO Jetpack says X means interoperability, hence the word cross borders. Yeah, very good point. And also, you got to also keep in mind, X gonna give it to you. Yeah, screw waiting for you. Get it on your own. Quant gonna deliver it to you. No, I'm kidding. The CryptoSmith says very true. ISO Jetpack. And all right, I gotta go further down because I mean we're 3:13. I don't really want to make it 4 hours. Oh, you always say this, Max. You always say that you don't want to make it 4 hours, and then it becomes 4 hours. That could very well happen. If I get something real juicy here soon, could happen. All right, Gix, welcome with a Suzuki avatar. Jasmy's liquid gold, not financial advice. So when I bust out my Velveeta mac and cheese and I'm pouring all that liquid gold all over it, I'll remember that I'm not eating Velveeta mac and cheese, that I am actually consuming Jasmy's liquid gold. All right. Can I be a clown moon boy? No, because you're too good for that. Stevie says people don't forget Leo X on the 27th. Very good point. Very, very good point. So keep in mind two specific things on the 27th, everybody. ZK EVM for Polygon, and also Leo X goes public on LCX. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. Let's jump back into the news. And if anything, I think I showed you guys enough in regards to some of the things with Casper. Yeah, I think there's one little brief clip, but it's not enough to like make it worthwhile to share. It's like in like 20 seconds. All right, so thank you to that person I just mentioned earlier. Let's get into the whole thing with Relio. Rio, yeah, we got a Rio update for you guys. So here it is. Shout out to Ja, not Ja Morant. You know, oh man, Ja Morant needs to get together. You can't just blow away an amazing NBA career. Anyway, shout out to Ja, who will never DM you for money. Okay, I hope not. She states, Relio Network is tokenizing real estate in both physical and virtual realities. Listen to this. This is the update you're looking for. Lionel Richie posted March 17th today, 4:40 a.m. So how are they basically tokenizing in both physical and virtual realities? Well, it says they are removing mediators, divisibility. They track asset history, safety, automation, blockchain solution, decentralization, immutable, transparent, right? Here's a few particular URLs: Relio Fund, Relio Network, metaverse.relio.network. Oh, by the way, how about all the ties they have to Wall Street and so on? Maybe even BlackRock, right? I remember Papa X Max mentioned this, right? So we're going to jump into this, and it says it's a must read, all right? This is a new token that we cover here at CTN. Oh, they're shilling me some ish coins. Relio is not ish. Relio is really nice. And before I jump into this, if you're wondering, I don't know what Relio is. What the heck is Max talking about? What in the blood clot is Max talking about? Well, let me show you. So for Relio, as you can see right here, I mean, it has been higher. I've seen this as high as 30 cents. So it's 74% up. I did a video about this, and it was at roughly 8 cents for the day. I only got like 50 views or whatever. Mike Cornwell got into this, and he's up a lot, right? Like, I mean, percentage wise. So yeah, we saw this as high as 30 cents. I mean, come on, guys, to go from like 8 cents when we first covered to like 30 cents. Maybe Maximus kind of knows what he's talking about a little bit, trying to share some gems with you guys. I don't know. You make your own decision on it, not financial advice. But I want to show you guys, if just in case you're wondering, where can you view a deep dive in regards to Relio? Let me show you. Here it is. So 2 weeks ago, this video originally only had 50 views. It's got over 1,000 now. Very cool stuff, because people follow CMC, CoinGecko, or whatever portfolio manager they use, and they see that Rio really, really did well, right? So this is a real deep dive. It says Rio hidden microcap gem of Wall Street, asset tokenization on blockchain, real estate with Relio. Ticker symbol is Rio. Look more into it. You can definitely watch my deep dive if you want, but this is one that we'll continue to cover because we feel as though it's a really good small cap / micro cap gem. All right, really has blown up. Anyway, let's get into this particular PDF for you real quick, because this is good stuff. So I'm going to share this with you. And like it says, Relio tech verticals and progress updates for Q4, the end of last 2022. I know we're into this new year and so on, but I mean, again, this is good stuff. I'm going to get down further into this, and I want to get to some of the juicy stuff I saw earlier. All right, yeah, actually, it starts off with here. So this is on the third slide. Excuse me. Allergies. So it says they have a wallet system that designs significantly which significantly simplifies access to multi-chain DeFi, including non-EVM chains, through a hybrid model that does not compromise a user's ability to control their own keys and enables non-custodial mobile support without placing keys on the user's mobile device, a well-known security hole. They have also decided to launch a non-custodial multi-chain DeFi wallet app that they have branded as Freehold. Now, a lot of these things that you're hearing about that happened, that they mentioned about late 2022, has now come into full fruition, if you will, with those utilities for this month. And I think the big ones come out at the end of this month. I remember some outlets reporting on this. Papa X Mex, who introduced this to me, mentioned that. Big stuff, right? So did you know that they're building a metaverse? Yeah, Rio, right? Building a metaverse. As a digital land across the metaverse space continues to find demand, they view that is not a pivot of focus for the company, but an opportunity to pursue a new real estate asset class that is digitally native. Our metaverse is called the Relioverse. And it makes sense that they would get into the metaverse, considering that they are real estate on the blockchain, right? So you have physical and even digital real estate, right? So these are the main reasons why I want to bring it to you guys. Of course, this is the whole thing about, in 2023 with Relio Wallet. I'll give you a little brief introduction to that. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a non-custodial multi-chain DeFi wallet app built on Relio's blockchain infrastructure. It's referred to as Freehold. On top of that, in Q1, which, we're basically approaching Q2 now, they're letting you know that they have liquidity pool staking. You could stake your assets to provide liquidity on popular AMMs and earn yield on idle holdings directly from your Relio wallet. Additional Rio rewards will be available in the select pools. How about this? P2P meets compliance. You got to keep in mind, a lot of this that you see, the ties to Wall Street and so on, do they really want the threat of the SEC? Well, if anything, with their ties that they have, I think they're more than good. But it says that their investment portal is built with the intent of blockchain in mind, removing the middleman. While there will always be a level of centralization with digital securities and compliance, their platform maximizes a user's ability to manage assets peer-to-peer while providing asset issuers with compliance, control, flexibility on-chain. They offer real-time token issuance portal with a fully automated compliance process that allows you to invest directly, with fiat cash, right? Or any supported crypto in the Relio wallet. In the deep dive, I talk about some of this. Hold on, let me get down to the other slide I want to show you guys real quick. All right, this is it right here. So their mainnet, from what I've been told and looked into, is supposed to be launching here real soon. It might have. I have to double check that. But they went from testnet. They're going to be going to mainnet. The testnet already launched, obviously, at the end of, I believe, last year. A few highlights from the testnet. I know that, we need to get more into the mainnet. We'll do another video or, presentation in regards to that. A few highlights. Listen to this, guys. 900 plus growing Discord community, 82 plus validator group, block explorer and documentation sites. Rio and RST validators are live. And how about this for size? They are still on track to launch the network for initial Rio and RST validators. They really basically done it. This is another reason why this thing has really popped off. So if you're wondering about that, they built already the, using Cosmos software development kit and Tendermint. They have native dual token proof of stake consensus mechanism on both Rio and RST. They have EVM compatible cross-chain IBC compatibility. Those who are eligible will receive super staking rewards. Just real quick here, and I'll wrap this up in regards to Rio. Their ecosystem tokens, right? Yeah. You're like, huh? Rio's got an ecosystem. It's not just just a regular token. Yeah, they got a lot more to it than just that. So Relio network token, it says, is the native gas and utility token of the Relio network. So keep in mind, everything that's been happening, recently and so on, that gas is being activated. And I always mention this all the time. If you are into any particular crypto where it has an actual utility being used and whether it's on an app or whatever, and it's consistently being used, you should see price action. We have recently seen that with Rio. So it says it's, the Rio token, right, is the native gas and utility token of the Rio network. It was issued without any initial coin offering, sale, or founder pre-mine allocation. Rio is a native multi-chain asset that currently, of course, exists on Ethereum, but also exists on Algorand. Stellar, with Genesis event for native Rio on the Rio network planned, of course, in 2022. But it looks like a lot of that already happened. If you're wondering about the max supply, approximately 93 million to be reduced to 75 million at network launch. Guys, if all this is going above your head and you're like, well, okay, this thing pumped, so what? There's so many crypto tokens. Understand this. This is why Rio is on my short list. Now I could take you to CMC, and I will in a bit. Understand that they only have 75 million. Yeah, you heard me right. Tokens. That's it. You want to talk about scarcity? Oh my gosh, like this thing is huge, big time. There's of course more of this, right? You can get they have equity tokens, RST. You have a USD backed peg stablecoin with RUSD, and even XRIO, which is convertible Rio. I'll talk about that for just a brief moment. You can XRIO will be needed to mint native Genesis Rio on the alpha release of the network into a two-way bridge with Ethereum, Algorand, and even Stellar, right? And then if you're wondering about circulating supply with that, still pretty darn scarce, only 45 million. So one of the key things I want to share with you guys is when it comes to Relio, the ties to Wall Street, the tokenization of real estate, obviously both physical, both digital, and on top of that, scarcity, right? We're always talking about scarcity like Bitcoin, obviously Quant. This is a low market cap gem with scarcity. My Cornwall is already doing well on it. I need to get some of these, but I want to take some profits off of my Filecoin and some other things before I do that. I'll get into it. But yeah, my short list, guys. I'm telling you flat out. You guys said for many, many months now, Max, we love that you provide info in regards to the ISOs and some of these other ones. Can you find some really nice micro cap or small cap gems? This is definitely one of them. Okay. This is definitely one of them. Mike has me sold on elk. We'll bring you guys some elk news here in a bit. But I want to kick it back in the comments just for a brief bit. Apparently people are really enjoying the content tonight. We're still holding a good audience, over 42, even at the 3.5 hour mark. So I do appreciate that. So we just talked about tokenization. Pulse Unity says tokenizing the future ad spend in social media and sharing that to users, then letting them profit from their own data forever is a way forward. It is. And I'm glad so much that, one of the main key takeaways for tonight's show was the HBAR connection with obviously Data, Jasmy, and even Nexera. How cool is that? Those three, right? Those are three that we consistently cover. By the way, a great studio setup. Well, thank you. Let me know. What do you think? Real or not real? All right. Stevie says, when does Pulse Chain come out? That's a good question. Pulse Chain is not real. Papa Doc, what you gonna do? All right. So Stevie, the rumor is always soon. They have V3 testing at the moment. Okay. Miguel says, well said, brother. Well, thank you very much. ISO Jetpack J0229, because the first 228 were taken. No, not really. This is a joke. I got a question. Can you own something that you bought if the trademark of what you bought belongs to someone else? Maybe IR is just paying to use it then. I got a question. Can you own something that you bought if the trademark of what you bought belongs to someone else? Yeah. I mean, my thing is you won't be able to capitalize on reselling that, I guess you could say, to make it like it's your own. But yeah, I think there's lots of examples of how many things that, can you buy something that, can you own something that you bought if there's a trademark? I mean, shoot, I'm looking at something right here in my Acer monitor, the TV. the car, the clothes, the Echo shirt, the Portland Diamond Project hat. I mean, I don't know. All right, Stevie says, can't wait for that one to come out. And hold on a second. Let me go welcome Michael Montclair. Says, hey all, glad to have you here. And let's go further down. Miguel says, have you ever covered some coins that are completely scams and point out to the points of why it's a scam to inform our community? Have you ever covered some coins that are complete scams? I mean, I think I pointed out like ones that I think are a blatant scam, if that's what you mean. Like, but yeah, are you saying how we promoted ones that are like scams? Is that what you're saying? And then later on found out that it was? No. But I'll get some clarification from you, I guess. Yes, Miguel, Max will investigate coins. Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, like token sniffer, or yeah, we do some of that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Michael Montclair, welcome. With the lovely Zara says new community coins, Akita Inu, Kishu Inu. Strong community. Okay. So Ethereum down 17% this hour. Yeah, I mean, if anything, people are definitely like, taking profits and stuff. That's going to happen all the time. I don't care what project it is. Have you looked up if it, Miguel? I was always wondering, how come you never saw this? So, Miguel. I love you, man. You're a good guy. I want to show you something. If you're maybe just asking people in general. I made this video just for you, man, 12 days ago. Not only has 93 views, but it might be a situation like Rio. If it blasts off, people come and they look at it and so on. But yeah, there it is. I made it roughly 2 weeks ago, 7 minutes. It's a brief intro to Affinity, right? I think that's the one you're still talking about. Yep, there it is. See? There it is. Proof. Screen. Made a video. Thumbnail and everything for you, my friend. There you go. Salamander says, Max, you notice you get more peeps watching your show when crypto is going up, and when crypto is going down, you get, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. You got a very good point there. If you're still here, Salamander, I don't know, maybe you're not. Let me just stop screen. And I mentioned this, it's just like when there's a real, like a big bull run, like towards all-time highs and stuff like that, people will come in. They want to learn more about why. Oh man, my friend Mike Cornwell got into Rio. Oh my gosh, like he came in at 8 cents and that thing went up to over 30 cents. What the heck is this about? Well, I'm gonna type in Rio. Oh, who's this guy that covered it? Oh, this guy named Max with this funky looking beard. He's looking kind of rough and he wears this pea hat, and people call him the Filipino Ice Cube for some reason. And but anyway, I'm gonna find out more about that. Yeah. Just drop a Casper video. Yeah, I retweeted that and so on. Guys, by all means, check it out. Let's I think I give you a plug earlier. I'll give you a plug again. Give you the CryptoSmith plug right here. I didn't count. That didn't sound right. Yeah. I love you, bro. No homo, though. All right, so guys, here it is. 4 hours ago, CryptoSmith came out with future-proof blockchain, developer-friendly. Casper network will tokenize everything. DeFi, dApps, gaming, real estate. Ooh, so we're just talking about Rio with real estate, right? Check out CryptoSmith's video. I'll probably watch it later tonight. It's only 13 minutes, 23 seconds. He does an excellent job on his B-roll too. And I love how he starts off with like, hello everyone, my name is Sean. I am the CryptoSmith, and today we're going to talk about future-proof blockchain with Casper. Now, I want to state this. No, yeah, I don't know. That's my impersonation. It's probably not the best anyway. But you start off like that, Hello, everyone. My name is Sean. I don't know. It's cool. I like how you do it. That's not me making fun. I just think it's cool. All right, Stevie, Max, why don't you get Greg Lunt on here then? Yeah, I'll try to do something like that. My thing is, he's not even following me, I don't know what's up with that, but that's okay. Maybe he's just too busy. I don't know if Quant Papa has been in the comments. I wouldn't mind getting any of those guys are more than welcome to come on. I guess I got to reach out. It'll be a good show. Maybe we do get Greg. You know what? That'd be cool. if we could have CryptoSmith, myself, and special guest Greg Lunt, and we just do a whole quant thing, right? That'd be cool. Maybe we do get something like that going on. Give me time. We'll see what happens. Don't get your hopes up, okay? But I'll definitely let him know. I mean, he would like to see that, some guy named Stevie, I think you're Stevie Rose, if I'm not mistaken, was requesting that. If you're a guy who's like even a Twitter content creator, you like hearing that. Like, oh, people are requesting me. I mean, who wouldn't like that, right? It's flattering. CryptoSmith, you're awesome, my friend. Yes, he is. Thank you. Hey, I've heard of CryptoSmith. I should sub probably. Yes. Go to Crypto, guys. And we'll do a plug. So first of all, our plug first. Go over to ctnnetwork.net. All right. And if you're not familiar with the names, after you make an account and so on, it's free, by the way. Click on creators. There's other guys that, join us, right? Chaka, Daniel Gayton, Wadi. But here's CryptoSmith, the CryptoSmith. You go and click on here, and watch what happens. It takes you straight to his YouTube, right? And you can click on subscribe. And obviously he covers not just, Cypherium and Casper. He covers Cypherium, Casper, Jasmy. I mean, he's doing pretty well on that, 1,800 views. Obviously covers XRP, Corium. Doing really well on that Corium video, by the way. He obviously covers MMI. Sad face. Oh, no, I'm kidding. And then he also, let's see here. I don't know. He covers some drama, I guess you could say. What's the other ones he covers? Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, by the way, he does a live show every Saturday. So tomorrow, for the most part, unless he has something that happens, like if he's not feeling well or something. He has a live stream. It's called Straight Talks at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Last time he talked about bank failures and rate hikes. And I'm pretty sure it probably, start off with, welcome people like, hello, everybody. My name is Sean. I am the CryptoSmith. Something like that. Anyway. All right. Really? When was that? Basically around the time you kept talking about it all the time. Like 12 days ago or 2 weeks ago. You kept mentioning over and over about Affinity. I was like, man, Miguel is really passionate about Affinity. And, muchos gracias to, mi amigo Miguel. And I was like, you know what? That goes to the top of the queue. And he's going to get a brief intro. And so there you go. De nada. Right? All right. I think it's honestly on the surface, I thought it was not too bad at all. I think it's a solid project. It's just not on my short list. You got to keep in mind where I'm coming from, man. Like when I have a short list, like I'm ready into so many ones, right? So you guys are into more, but it's just for me personally, it's just like I recognize it's pretty, pretty darn good. I think you found something good there. It's just, I'm just glad to introduce it and cover it, is all I'm saying. But people of course will make their own could decide if they want to get into that, because none of it's at the end of the day financial advice. Yeah, A0 is on my particular list. And it also has that particular, what is it? I think it's T0. Maybe it's A0, T0 has also got a Rio connection. But anyway, Tim Shea's on top of sharing that for CryptoSmith. Thank you for that. You're a sub. Right on. Thank you for doing that. We watched it after this. Very cool. When did you do the video? I already answered that. Cody Core came out of the world of work, but he's here. Thank you for being here. He says, Tim Shea. I don't know your actual voice. Crypto Smith. All right. XRP futures. I can't imagine what that will become. Oh, man, that's a good point. That's a good point. You know what? It's going to be hard to time that just right. All right. Hey, I hear Max is a robot. Jeez. Good to see you, Cody. Thanks for being here. Wish you some of dudes would get Crypto Casey interview. She never did a live. Crypto Casey, huh? Okay. A lot of guys want me to get Eva Sagalu or whatever her name is. That would be pretty nice too, but I don't know about that happening. I think somebody's blowing up my phone, but that's okay. They have to wait. The community gets priority. All right. Curtis Smith, how about Trump getting arrested next week? Oh, no. I'm not gonna go down that route. Politics and religion can be kind of divisive. Yep, I'm not going down that rabbit hole because he had 3 scoops of ice cream. That's the word on the street. All right. Sean, was his NFT sale a rug pull? A little just kidding. Oh, wow. That's interesting. All right. So you got the news about that. That's cool. JC the man's back. He says, cool. McDizzle, Max, did you see the bank shutting down for the weekend post? Now, you mentioned something about that, but I didn't see anything in regards to that. I'll take your word on it, though. I'd like to welcome Boomer Effing Sooner. Thank you for being here. You missed just news about like what stands out for Hedera with data, Jasmy, data, and even Nexera, data. That was the key highlight for tonight. Was digital oil, data. I want to welcome Mr. Badir, aka Crypto Winner, aka Hump Not Dump. Damn, Max, what's up with the late night cap? Yeah, it's something that I kind of do. You think this is interesting? Yesterday I did 4.5 hours. I think it was last week I did 5.5 hours. What am I thinking? I don't know. I'm just excited to cover a lot about this because if anything, I like talking about crypto. And sometimes it gets kind of a little bit addictive, I guess you could say. And I also like to see us grow. And I also like to see that more and more people are interested about these particular coins and tokens and blockchain technologies than just get on camera and be like, all right, hey everybody, my name is Fred. And on today's show, I'm going to introduce to you the epic dump Inu. And basically speaking, it's going to take an epic dump. And, we're going to get an AMA coming here soon. And basically speaking, you should invest in this utility-driven coin. It's going to have utility in the next 2 years before I rug everybody. No. Who wants that? All right. Magic Power. Hold on. Let me read this real quick. So close to 200 or more. Going to go tits up. Good point. Magic Power said Filecoin has a virtual machine. Yes, I saw that update the other day. Network upgrade. It will introduce smart contracts and enable developers to design decentralized applications on the Filecoin network. Yes, very good point. I'm very excited about that. That's why I've been holding off a little bit instead of just taking my profits right out the bat. But I do need to reach my goals because I also realize that, man, I do need to get something going here soon because I do want to just do my power swap for more ISOs. But Filecoin is great all around. Guys, I just want to state this, right? My opinion, Filecoin, the Coca-Cola crypto, the lowest risk, the highest average return, the Coca-Cola crypto. You don't believe me? Look more into it. Great for swing trading and also great for long-term. Solid project. Do more of your own research. Do not just ape into it because you heard me say it. Crypto Winner says Bitcoin is going to crash after FOMC meeting. If Powell gives us 0, there's real problems. If he does 25, the Fed's pivot and the print money. And yeah, I hear you. I'm still on board for the bull run thesis, but I hear where you're coming from. You missed Memphis and Purdue, Burmer F and Sooner. LOL. Nope, I caught that game. Greg. Yeah, I missed some games today. I'll have to catch up on the highlights from ESPN. Crypto says no longer a paid creator for MMAI. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Yeah. All right. What's up with MMAI Smith and this guy? Oh, no. Not doing it. All right. So, Crypto Winner, Putin is officially a wanted man, and the markets are rallying on the Swiss bank. His name is Lehman, like the Lehman Brothers collapse. All right. Crypto Winner, the question is, what have changed for the better to make crypto pump all this money? Silicon Valley money looking to park some of it, Mr. Market Maker. So we reported about this the other day, Crypto Winner. I'll give you guys some data in regards to more of that bull run thesis. But there's so many indicators in regards to CPI data. when it comes to food, lodging. There's some other particular data. It looks very, very good. Yes, inflation sucks. We're still up there, but it's definitely starting to drop down, and the data is showing that. And on top of that, when we looked at more into Bitcoin, we saw, for instance, indicators for going to the upside, comparing it to before with the Fed pause previously for other years. I understand it's a different time and so on, but there's enough indicators to show that the bull run thesis is definitely valid. And some people say that's a fake out, but that's just the way I personally feel. We can agree to disagree. I sound just like you. Portray me. Well, when you do the extra-ish long shows, I get to listen and comment. Yes, you could definitely do that. Bro, Boomer, Coochie. Everybody's still on. Hello, Coochie Boy. All right. Are you from around here? Did you check the jockey box for the fry sauce? No, I'm not from there. Originally from Portland, Oregon, and then I've been living in Phoenix for the last 23 years. So I'm born and raised there. Anyway, let me go ahead and get into just a tad bit more of what we have for you guys. Let's see here. Crypto Mike shared something again? Huh, my bad. I'll share this for Crypto Mike. He didn't super chat. You don't need to. This comes straight from Crypto Mike. He sent 25 minutes ago. It says, Bank in Belgium overnight update Saturday to Sunday. Blow that up. Wow. So Dyor in system update. No, I'm not going to read that. But it does state that due to a system update, your Belfius app will not be accessible from Saturday to Sunday at 1300 hours. Interesting. Yeah, some other things, right? Very, very interesting. All right, thank you for that. And let's see where we're also at. So we talked about that. Talked about the whole thing, Relio. All right, let's get into Elk Finance. So this will be our final update of the night before we get around to wrapping things up after I get into the comments. So in regards to Elk, totally sold on Elk. Look more into Elk Finance, guys. You'd be glad you did so. I feel as though this is another gem. And not only that, if you're already impressed with Rio, with only having 75 million tokens, you'll be that much more impressed with Elk, right? So another microcap gem. Elk is now on Archly and has brought along the power of ElkNet. The reason I mention this is a new listing for Elk. Not only can you create and vote for Elk pools, you can now use Elk to transfer across ElkNet and buy ARK. No, we're not being paid by Elk. Allowing you to bridge your funds between Arbitrum 1, BNB Chain, Phantom, Kava, Optimism, Polygon, and Telos. From there, you can convert back to ARK and continue to participate in the Archly flywheel. Learn how to bridge your Elk here. And of course, you're welcome to do that to take more look into it. But yeah, Archly new whitelisting, Elk Finance. Elk is now available to create pools to vote on for the Arbitrum 1, BNB Chain, Phantom, Kava, Optimism, Polygon, and Telos chains. And oh, by the way, let me just show you something real quick, just in case you weren't at the particular show that showed all this before. I'll get into that here in a bit. I'm just going to type in Elk real quick. This is what makes Elk so darn attractive. So, yeah, it's up a little bit, 16 cents. Look what's mentioned here, guys. You have a max supply of only 42,424,000 Elk. All right, let's look at this. Look at this markets real quick. It is fully interoperable with so many freaking chains, and not just like garbage ones or anything, like really standout ones. You have Circle to Elk, Pancake Swap, wrapped BNB to Elk. You have USDT to Elk through the Kyber swap, right? Wrapped Matic to Elk, Circle to Elk, DAI to Elk, Wrapped Ethereum to Elk, Wrapped BNB to Elk, Wrapped Matic to Elk, Wrapped Avalanche to Elk. Not familiar with that one. BUSD to Elk. Poly Doge to Elk. Listen, there's some crazy ones, right? UN Radio Shack to Elk, if you want to go that route. Trader Joe to Elk. Teddy Doge, which Not a fan of their devs. Those disrespected something fierce before I even joined up with Crypto Talk Now. But anyway, Shack with Elk, Zava with Elk, Chainlink with Elk. Wow. Cardano with Elk. Let's go further down. Bitcoin. What's that? Bitcoin? BTC BR. I don't know what that is. With Elk. Kana with Elk. So you see the trend here? I mean, everything with freaking Elk. How about this XRP with Elk? Are you kidding? Well, Max, Saitama technically has it. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Doge with Elk, Sushi Swap with Elk. Everything with Elk. I'm going to take you to the site real quick, just in case you missed it the other day. Now, this is not some garbage website. This is a good website. Look at this. Where Avalanche meets Elk. Where Polygon meets Elk. Phantom. Yeah, Phantom with Elk. Ethereum with Elk. Optimism with Elk. Arbitrum with Elk. Max goes into AI mode with Elk. Kava with Elk. Heka with Elk. Gnosis Chain with Elk. Binance Smart Chain with Elk. KuCoin with Elk. OEC with Elk. Harmony. Kronos. Telos. Alastros. Moon River. Fuse. IoTex. All chains with Elk. All right. Look more into it. You'd be glad you did. Boil it, mash it, stick it in the stew. All right. Yeah, you were close to Idaho. I was. Not anymore. I mean, CryptoSmith is in Idaho, though. Speaking of potato, I'm growing potatoes in my Home Depot bucket, and it's working. Nice. All right. Just need old grass, cut up chunks, put all the grass on it. Done. Very interesting. All right. So there you guys have it. One last time, I put a plug in for a particular website. Check out the new Crypto Talk Now network website, which is ctnnetwork.net. Go over to here, and you can also actually download the app if you don't want to do from the web-based one. Let's say you hate Twitter, you can message other CTN people through the members chat. Myself, Rafael Santos, whoever has a link to CryptoSmith, for instance. We do post crypto news. I'll show you that real quick. It's free. All you have to do is use your email, or you can use your Google account or Facebook if you want. Like it says on the far right, join CTN Network on Spaces by Wix if you want. But anyway, yeah, Larry posted about my video about Project Icebreaker. We have, for instance, some of the things you see here with XLM and some of these other ones. But anyway, there's a lot to basically look at. If you want to post any news, you can. Here's our forum. Let me show you that real quick. Welcome. Have a look around and join the discussions. And if you want about like your categories, here's some of our categories. And, we have ISO 222 crypto announcements, metaverse, gaming, memes, utility, AI. So, it's not just ISO 222. Have a look around. Let us know what you think. But, guys, I'm really glad to be able to have done the show tonight with you guys. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I will read this real quick for Crypto Winter because I know I don't get to see them all the time. It says he made his own dirt storing the Brazilian Amazon Terra Negra. They use human bones. I use chicken and fish, other things like eggshells. What the heck? Waiting on the tomatoes to grow, and then you could. Okay. All right. Well, good to see you, Badir. Always good to see you at OG. Hope you're doing okay, man. Hope things going a lot better for you. GF Burke, I'd like to welcome you. I hope that I get to see more of you. I'm glad that Tim Shea and you know each other or whatever. And to everybody else out there, I know we still have a decent amount of people here. Can't thank you guys enough. Hopefully you enjoy the content that was provided to you today. Come back again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for more Crypto Talk Now. And by all means, check out the videos that we came out with today for Crypto Talk Now. Just to show you one last time, I'll give ourselves a plug. Here are some of the ones. Check out that deep dive for Rio. You'll be glad you did so. That's a gem, an absolute gem. And last but not least, Jasmy is deflationary by Q4 2023. But I want to show you guys this real quick. And that is, We came out with some videos today. We'll have more later tonight. 1 million TPS for Stellar. That's amazing. If that's the case, they would be the fastest, right? But there's a catch. We'll show you how that basically is. Not that long a video. Check out the XDC electronic trade documents bill. You'd be glad that you did so. In regards to Quant, the Nestle connection, and then also, last but not least, FedNow goes live in July. Do not dismiss Ripple's partnerships, though, at the same time. Don't dump your XRP just to go all in on Ethereum. You're welcome to do so. You got to do what you got to do. But I think, if anything, be a little bit more diversified, right? Don't have all your eggs in one basket. So that's it for tonight. Not going to read any more comments. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. And if anything, know what you have, know what you hold. You're almost to the finish line. Stay the course. And together, we'll make that generational wealth. So on behalf of myself, Larry, and the rest of the Crypto Talk Now network team, I salute you all. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.